This episode of Off My Shelf contains coarse language and adult conversation. Listener discretion is advised. Hello, my name is Tracy James and welcome to Off My Shelf, a podcast about movies that are, well, off my shelf, where we go through my DVDs and talk about the movies in my collection. In this episode, Sarah Behl and Josh Ratcliffe join me to talk about the Matrix sequels, Reloaded, Revolutions, and Resurrection. Welcome!
Hello! I almost just only waved. As if I haven't been on this already a whole bunch of times.
You know, right?
Yeah.
There are very many times where I make faces and gestures where I'm just like, I have to say I'm making a face because nobody else can see it right now. This is fine. Yes. I don't know why only right now this occurred to me, but Reloaded, Revolutions, and Resurrection, like you could mix it up just a little bit. That'd be fine.
Yeah, they should have called
Mister.
They should have called the last one Rebooted, right? Like that's just a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
There
Or
has
an
to have
S.
been a draft when it was called Rebooted.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
what
I
you do to a
kept-
video game or a computer or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Remember the old cartoon Reboot? God, I loved that show. That show was so good.
That was a great show.
Yeah.
My
The best
Except
girlfriend
for the
hates
live
that
action
show.
remake.
Why does your girlfriend hate that show?
I don't know. She hates it so much that if anything reminds her of it, she's like, I don't want to watch this.
I'm just gonna walk around and be like, Reboot.
And that's a big umbrella, apparently. Like I'm like, this looks nothing like it. I don't know what you're talking about. And she's like, turn it off.
Oh God.
Avatar instant out. Like
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's when I walk in the room. No.
Ooh. I mean, don't get me wrong. The new show, the Reboot, whatever it is, with real live children going into like the thing world, it's garbage.
Mhm.
Don't worry. But the original one, I mean, if you look at it now compared to like now animation and all that kind of stuff, because it's one of the first CG like cartoons and everything. Yes, it doesn't look as great, but the story is there, so you can enjoy it easily.
Well,
Especially
it's pretty good
their-
for 1994.
Yeah, exactly. I've watched movies from 1994 that look worse than that. I mean, what? Oh, I just saw an article today about Lawnmower Man 2. Don't ask, it's fine. And they showed some stills from that movie, and I'm like, holy shit, that looks bad. And that was 97. So I don't know. Just
Yeah.
saying.
I really want to know what the article that you read that wasn't from 1997 about Lawnmower Man 2 was.
So I get like these alerts when articles are posted about stuff, and I have it set to like sci-fi and like, you know, Toronto news and all that kind of
And
stuff.
Lawnmower Man 2.
And apparently
Just
Lawnmower Man
in
2.
case anyone mentions Lawnmower Man 2, you're like, I need to know.
But the title of the article was pure clickbait, and it was saying something. What did it say? It was like the missed opportunity of this this cyberpunk film from 97 is leaving HBO Max next week or something. And I was like,
oh.
what? And they had like a still from it. And I was like, I don't recognize that movie. What is it? And then of course I had to click on it and do like a scroll through and have a look. And I was like, Lawnmower Man 2, this is what you're talking about? Why are we talking about this? Nobody's gonna watch this again.
A bad sequel.
Yeah,
A
just
terrible
let it
horror
die.
movie.
Yes.
I heard they dropped off Tremors 4.
Oh.
Rest
Is
in
there-
peace. Pour one out for Tremors 4.
Was it? But I thought there was already like 12 Tremors movies.
No, I know. I'm just making that up. I was a little worried that I was like, is Critters the one that went up to 4? Tremors the one up to 4?
Leprechaun.
No, I think Leprechaun 4 is in space.
Oh God, please
With
tell me that's
Predator
not-
and Alien.
Yeah.
Yes. And Jason.
And Jason.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I'd watch that movie. I'd watch that movie in a heartbeat.
Just all of them in space. See who
Yeah.
kills who and what happens.
who would be the last standing?
Hmm.
That's a battle royale I want to see.
I mean, I honestly think an alien will beat Jason. But critters,
Agreed.
however, are small and fast and roll everywhere. So they have a chance to escape. Just saying. And Lawnmower Man is digital, so he can't attack anything. Whatever. It's fine. Unless he just crashes the whole ship into like a planet.
Unless he picks up like a random payphone and then becomes a human somehow. Which happens in one of the movies that we watched today.
Yes. Yes, it did.
That's true.
I like the blank look on your face when I'm making a reference to the movie we watched for the show.
I literally watched that movie yesterday and I have already forgotten most of it. And it's so forgettable. Okay, so last episode, me and Sarah had a discussion about the Matrix and the Animatrix. Josh, quick Cole's Notes version. What are your feelings on at least the Matrix? Okay.
Pull out my notes. No, I like the original Matrix is great.
Yes.
It came out when I was 11.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously I've seen it 400 times. I had there was a friend of mine that I was pretty close with in high school, and he was just obsessed with it. And he bought a trench coat. Like that's how into it he was. And I was like, yeah, it's cool. And he and I have had long conversations when I was 15 about the philosophy in it and all the jumbled Christ imagery and all the crazy stuff that I remember none of now. So don't worry, I will not bore you with trying to figure out the Buddhist philosophy involved in the Matrix movies. But this watch, I did watch it before, like a couple weeks ago, and I tried to look at it through the lens of this was made by two trans filmmakers, and I did pick up on some of those themes, which I think were pretty interesting. There's a lot of rebirth stuff, a lot of choosing a name thing. The name thing is pretty important, I think, especially because throughout the trilogy, the antagonist is dead naming the protagonist the whole time.
Yes.
Yeah, which is a neat kind of small thing that you don't really pick up on until you kind of know the kind of history of the filmmakers that made it and stuff like that. But it was cool. I don't have as much experience with the Animatrix, unfortunately, so I can't speak too much to that. But that one in 1999 was the bee's knees in the early 2000s, especially to an adolescent.
Yeah.
So it was pretty great.
Both Sarah and I pretty much agree. If I remember a conversation from last time. Probably should have re-listened to that episode to be like, what did I say? And then come back to it. It's fine. It's okay.
Well, I didn't listen to it to catch up.
Yeah, we got you on for the bad movies. We get it.
Yeah.
Did I give it away? I think I gave away a spoiler.
I'm sad I missed the last week. I would have done a fun bit this one where I was contractually obligated to come back for the second episode.
Yes.
By the way, here's a spoiler alert. I really dig that fourth one. I think that fourth one's real fun. And I only want to talk about that one.
I'm just gonna cry. I'm gonna put it out there. Just cry.
The fourth one is most fun. It's most up to date with our current standards of what we want to see in movies, right? It is pretty evolved. No, it's fun. They're trying to introduce new and fun things.
It's one of the angriest movies I've ever seen.
I mean, look, I literally watched that movie last night. I have forgotten 80% of it because it doesn't do anything. The whole movie is everybody sitting around going, hey, do you remember the last movie when we did all this stuff? Yeah, no. Okay. And here's all of this stuff to catch up. And then the movie ends and you're like, oh, okay.
You are 100% correct.
Yeah.
And that's why it's great.
It's American Pie too,
though. Yeah. It was just referencing its previous content, which I'm not offended by.
I think there's a difference between being like, it tried so hard to be like super meta and referential and everything, but there's a difference between doing that in a way that intrigues your audience and like blows their mind compared to where they did it, where they're just like, we're just gonna put pieces of the old movie in here, but we're gonna call it a video game. I put quotations around video game, and we're going to be like, it's fine. But every time something happens, something that's a reference to the stuff that came before, they're like, no, we're going to put a video clip in for you to be like, remember this thing? Like, it was just, no.
Yeah, it was almost as if the person making the movie said, what would the studio think is good, but is really stupid?
Or something. I have no idea. It just
it was like, it did feel like a commentary on like studio movie production, like it felt like a cash grab, but it was almost a commentary on a cash grab too. So it's like kind of pointing the finger back at us as the viewer going, hey, is this really what you want? And for a moment, yeah, sure, I dug it.
No, I did not dig it at all. Like, I actually forgot that me and Sarah saw this movie together in the theater. Like, I forgot. I was like, did I see? I think I saw this. Did I see it at home? What,
you guys have seen all four together then?
Yeah,
I think
that's pretty impressive. Yeah. I wasn't even in the same city for any of them.
Yeah, no, like, it was just how it worked out, apparently, because I was gonna make a comment that, oh my god, this is the one we didn't see together, and she's like, no, we saw this together. Like, oh, never mind.
I remember I wanted seated theater, and I'm like, the only person who I knew would go to see it in the theater with me is Tracy. All my friends are like, no.
But why? It's a movie. Go to the movies. What's wrong with the movies?
Does this have like general appeal to the ladies? Like, I feel like they're all going to see where the crawdaddies sing or whatever. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this isn't like if we were going to have like a little intersection of where women in sci-fi are, there's not a lot of ladies there.
I mean, they have put out a few things. There's like Arrival. There's the Annihilation was really good. What's it called?
Well, even Aliens. I mean, of like my female friendships.
Yeah.
And movies my female friends will want to go see at the theater.
Yeah.
Arrival was great. I liked Arrival a lot.
Arrival is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good quiet one that you could probably sell most people on.
I don't know. Both Arrival and Annihilation, I hated the last 10 minutes of it. I liked all of it until those 2 points.
Okay.
Where it's like language is time travel. I'm like, isn't? And then, interpretive dance sequence with a thing. You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that thing that was weird.
Have either of you watched the I.O. or whatever? It's a Wachowskis like television show on Netflix that was like, as I was watching the second one, I guess that's Reloaded, it reminded me a lot of like that television show. And I was like, oh yeah, you guys like this really crazy sex scene business and crazy dance scene business.
Yeah.
You're really into this. You guys really like this.
Is that there's another is that Sense8 or IO?
Oh, Sense8, yes.
Sense8,
or
right?
I can't remember.
I think there's a lot of Sense8.
There's two different of them, but yeah, right. Sense8 was like that too.
Yeah. IO might have been another one. I don't remember that one.
Yeah.
I tried watching Sense8. I got through one episode and I never went back. IO, I've never even heard of, so I'll probably go check it out.
Yeah.
See what
there's that second one has a lot of weird sex stuff in it.
Yeah.
It's way too much of the first like 40 minutes of that movie are about just people trying to have sex with each other.
Well, yeah, like the only thing that kept popping to my head in that scene was the words of Jose Chung, who you guys aren't going to remember who it is, but he's like, everything was so sex orgy. And I was like, yeah, apparently the center of the earth is sex orgy. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. It's just weird. Yeah.
I mean, if anything, I kind of honestly, I forgot about the sex orgy stuff. And so when we got to that point, I was just like reconfirmed. I was like, okay, this is definitely a cult. And this is a sex cult. I understand. Now I understand the universe that Zion is a part of. And I get it. I can see how humanity is surviving this way.
Neo's mad at sex, right? Like, it's just
Just the one.
Barely moving there.
Just the one.
And he cries at the end. So it's
and he cries at the end.
It's not because I'm sad. It's because it felt so good.
Poor Trinity.
I know, right? And she's like, "This is what love is." You're like,
oh God, that's brainwashing right there. Is what that is.
There's a crazy line in that first like part of that movie as well, where it's Link, who is the new Tank, because Tank dies off screen between movies. Which is wild. Come on. He walks into the room of his house, but he stops himself short because his children are there. But the line would have been, "Where's my pussy?"
Yeah.
Which is insane.
I know.
You haven't seen the woman you love in like 6 months or something, she's saying. And that's the first thing you want to say.
Honey, I'm home.
Yeah, or hello, I've returned. Nice to see you. But it's offensive.
He's like, oh no, he couldn't finish because his children were there. Yeah, that's why he shouldn't say that.
Oh, it wasn't his niece and nephew?
Oh, or whoever. Whoever was there.
There were small children in the room, and he decided to be quote unquote respectful.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh no, I can't say that in front of children. Oh no, that is an adult-only thing to say.
It really is. Really is. Yeah. And that woman, I don't even remember what the character's name is, but she was supposed to be Aaliyah, who sadly died right before filming.
Is it Z? That's his wife's name.
Z. Yes. Yeah. Z. Yeah. And it was the same with so the first time you see the Oracle, I don't understand why there aren't conspiracy theories about the Matrix making, because there's a couple of injuries and deaths in that happened, because the woman plays the Oracle. When you see her, not the first time, but the second time or whatever, and she's a different, I'm sorry I can't appear the way you're used to me or whatever. Mm-hmm. When they switch, it's because the woman died, and you're just what? That's crazy. But
I did not know that when I watched it this time. I think I forgot that fact because I probably knew at one point, but it was explained to me the other night, and I went, "Oh, okay, that's fair, I guess."
Yeah, that makes sense. And they just threw in that that one line. They're like, "Oh, sometimes things don't work out as you expected." You're like, "Oh, okay."
It's sort of like, "Hey, where did you get this pallet of cigarettes? Don't worry about it.
Just it's fine. Just let it be."
These aren't the cigarettes you're looking for.
Yeah, just let's just look the other way. Take some with you. It's fine.
Yeah.
And let's notice another plot point of this movie with holes in it.
I mean, okay. So let's try to talk about the three movies in some sort of order, because we're jumping all over the place. So we're going to start with Reloaded, which came out 4 years after the first film. And I remember being crazy excited about this. And then I watched it and I was just like, I'm going to wait for the second part to make my opinion. Because I knew, because they had said, they're like, no, these two things are essentially one movie together. So you got to see both halves to get it. And I was like,
right.
I'm gonna.
That is not true.
I mean, that's what they had said.
Yeah.
And I mean, the Revolutions came out 3 months after or something. It was super quick after.
I think
it was within the same year.
The first one came out in May, and the second one came out in December.
Something because they both came out within the same year.
It was a May-December romance.
Yeah.
And we're done. Yes, I would have given up on it. If that first movie wasn't so good, I would have given up on this franchise immediately.
Well, but between the two movies, I have a controversial opinion between the two. I think that Revolutions is a better movie, but it's less enjoyable than Reloaded is.
Well, that's the thing. I don't think Reloaded is enjoyable, and I think I kind of agree with you.
Yeah.
Because the problem is Reloaded, every 4 to 5 minutes there's a 15-minute fight scene, and it was driving me nuts. I'm like, why are all of these scenes so fucking long? And then you get to Revolutions And in Revolutions, because they wanted the fight scenes and stuff for like the big, Zion's being taken over and then the Smith fight, all of the fight scenes in that movie are like a minute long, half a minute long, whatever. It's 4 punches and they stop. And you're like, okay, this makes slightly more sense, I think, possibly, I guess. But there's more reason for all of this stuff happening in Revolution than it is for Reloaded.
Right. Yeah, no, that was sort of my thought as well. Like the third one's more coherent, but there's not as much like fun action like special effects stuff as in Reloaded, because it has like there's some good fights in Reloaded, but they don't mean anything.
It's true, yeah. Well, because when he first meets the dude in the cloak,
Seraphim,
yes, like he's that fight sequence takes way too long for what it's supposed to be. It's like, I just want to make sure you're Neo and I have to see how you fight first to understand it. And I was like, do you? And then it's like a 10-minute fight. Why wasn't it like 12 punches and it stops? That would have been enough.
Or why didn't he just fly? See, I can fly. Isn't that enough?
Yeah.
And no one else can do that, apparently.
Yeah.
I mean, I in this rewatch, and I don't know if it was just my place of my mental space, but when I came at this rewatch, I came and watched it for 2 reasons. 1, the fashion. 2, the dance sequences. And if you think about those elaborate fight scenes as just a really beautiful choreographed dance, it's a very enjoyable thing to watch. And the fashion's beautiful. Like the clothes, like it's pretty remarkable.
I mean, the clothes are cool. I'll give you that.
I hate the sunglasses. Oh my God. I hate the sunglasses so much.
That I understand. Yes.
I can't do it. I was so happy when they took them off in the 4th movie.
Oh, I'm here for the twirling coat. No, I want twirling coat action all the time. I want to go to the subway every day in a twirling cloak. Just living my best fantasy.
You should become one of those like twirling dervishes, I think is what they're called, that have like, they just spin around in the things the whole time. That's it.
And people were getting served. Like, it was like, bring it on. It was every dance movie convention that you want to see, except in latex.
Well, except for the Merovingian and Persephone, who clad themselves in rubber outfits, and Persephone at least could barely walk.
That was 100% a latex fetish outfit.
Oh,
like, there's no, yeah. It was like medical grade latex.
Yeah, like it was just. I was like, oh, did they just like wrap it around her? I hope they filmed for just one day in that white thing, because they just took like a long piece of it and just like wrapped it around her. That was it. It's done. There you go. But yeah, and then the red one in Revolutions, but she was sitting the whole time. It was fine. I don't know. But yeah, it looked very uncomfortable. It looked like there was a lot of baby powder.
Even Trinity, like I felt so bad for her because she was not like in the first movie. She had a PVC outfit without sleeves, but in this one, it's like I think by the third one, even she's in full body PVC and full gloves and fingertips. And I was like, oh, she would have been sweating buckets. Like that would have been a certain kind of torture to wear that outfit.
Yep,
Catwoman outfit.
Yes.
Yeah. Awful.
At least that had like stitching in it, so it got vents.
It could breathe.
Just a little.
PVC is not a breathable fabric.
No, not at all. Again, this movie started, Reloaded started with a Trinity sequence, which makes her even cooler. And then refocused to, Neo and other people. And I was like, oh, we should stay here longer. That would be great.
Yeah, that opening sequence really does promise, like, hey, guys, remember that last movie? Well, you're in for a treat because this is more of that.
Yeah.
And it kind of was not.
It was not at all.
Well, they try to follow so many of the similar, like, story points. Like it was like the same story as the first one in a way. Like it even ended with a Rage Against the Machine song. Like it was start on Trinity. Right? Yeah, or do they? I don't know. Yeah. I don't remember, but I guess what side the directors are on. But yeah, it was a lot of like, oh, we're going to see the Oracle. Oh, we're going to talk to Morpheus. It was just like it was predictable in a way, but which I guess they try to like elevate it a little bit each time with the change in the choreographed dance sequences because they added like new tricks or new, like, I'm walking on the ceiling now. Like,
yeah. Well, there's that one scene where they did this a couple of times in these movies, but especially the scene where Neo first meets like Smith and like just after the Oracle, and they're like in that playground, I guess you want to call it, and there's like a whole bunch of Smiths fighting him, and it turns into like an animated movie for like 10 minutes. And you're just like, you're not even trying right now. And I mean, at the time, they actually came out, like, developed like a new animation, like, style, like, program. What did they call, like, Burly Man or something? That was like their code name for it. Right. But like that whole sequence is animated. And I think when the movie first came out, you could tell, but it didn't look that bad. So you're like fine with it. But now I watch it, I'm just like, this is garbage. Like, what? Oh,
it looks like it's on the PlayStation 3.
Yes. Yeah, no, it's just like, no, you mash the button. He's doing the thing. Like that's just what it looks like.
But it was strategically released because also after the Revolutions in 2003, Enter the Matrix came out. So it was like an extension of the video game franchise and the movie franchise. It was like, I feel like it was trying to be really successful on all of, so like that's, I guess, in Reloaded, where the commercialization of this movie really started coming into play with like, yeah, we're projecting this arc, this storyline arc, which has characters introduced in these movies carry on into the video games.
Yes, yeah. And there's a lot, and there are so many franchises now that follow that kind of like way to do things, where it's like, no, it's a movie, but then there's like little shorts and then there's a video game, and then there's this thing online, and then if you know the secret, you can find this thing, and you're just like, oh, that's way too much work for me to follow this. I'm good. I'll just watch the movies.
I actually kind of remembered like the CG being kind of lame when I was 14 or 15. Like I kind of remember, like in my head, I was like, yeah, that wasn't the best movie. It had that, I mean, like there was this big fight scene, but it was all like looked like it was made of claymation. But I was watching it this time. It wasn't as long, like the CG stuff wasn't as long as I remembered it being. There is a lot of like face replacement stuff, and I thought the face replacement stuff was real good. Like the duplicating Hugo Weaving when it was actually human beings looked really great.
Yeah, that looks good. Yeah. I do agree with that. I just thought the sequence, it was just way too long. Like it was just so long that like at first we're just like, oh damn, it's Smith. Oh, there's a bunch of them and they're gonna fight. And then he makes that joke. He's like, me too. And I was like, whoa, that's hilarious. And then I was just like, and can we stop now? You guys have been punching each other for like 10 minutes. Like,
yeah, comedy not really their strong point.
No,
in these movies.
No.
Except that fourth one. Fourth one's got some good LOLs.
That's God. Yeah, no. I just no. I got nothing. I just cannot.
We'll get to it. I'm gonna turn you around.
Yeah. Okay. So we get to see Zion in this movie, which is all cool and stuff. It's very steampunk because, you know, they're getting away from like the AI and the automation. People have to be involved to like make things work and stuff, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah. Final Fantasy VII was only 4 years old or 5 years old at the time. So
wait, what does that mean?
It looked like Final Fantasy VII. It's very very steampunky.
Yes. Well, steampunk was super popular at that time, especially like, wasn't everybody walking with like goggles on their heads or something?
On their top hats. Yes.
On their top hats, yes. But the thing is, so we were talking like the scene in like the cave where he's having his speech and all that kind of stuff. And there's 250,000 people out there with no microphones or anything. And I was just like,
that cave has to have like seriously good acoustics. That's it. And it's a bunch of people, like when the music starts, it's a bunch of people, it's stomp. They're hitting garbage cans, man, and everybody's going nuts.
It's a dance movie. It's a dance movie.
They need to make
a rave scene. Sex.
Yes. They need to make a movie about like the dude who came late, who's all the way in the back, who's just like, what is he saying? Why is everybody cheering? I don't understand. I'm just gonna go home. Like,
I think he said, "Bless her the cheese makers." 7 people are laughing really hard at that and then drinking tea.
Yes, they are. It's a great time. It's a great time. My other comment about the Zion scenes is that Commander Locke, which Niobe and Morpheus are like totally against, is right. Everything Commander Locke says is right. They should prepare. They should do it this way, blah, blah, blah. Don't follow random dude into whatever. I don't care if you think he's the Messiah. Like, strategic wise, Commander Locke is correct. That's it.
Yeah,
That's
he's not the Messiah. He's a very naughty boy.
Yes.
I got to it.
Yes. But yeah, no, I don't know. My biggest problem with watching these movies is that it's very visually, at least, it's very much like the first Matrix movie, but I want to say it's the pacing, because it's not the dialogue. The dialogue is about right, except for the scene in the bathroom where, she asks for a kiss and you're just like, that's fucking stupid. But like everything else matches. But like I watch this movie and I'm just like, it's wrong. And I can't actually pinpoint why.
Orgasm cake.
Oh gosh. Yeah. Yes.
There you go.
I did have a note about that. I was like, what? WTF with that like digital.
That guy sucks so hard.
Oh yeah. That was awful. I was like, why was that necessary even? It wasn't necessary.
But also like that. But also what wasn't necessary was like the track. Like I know they changed it to like Matrix code and stuff, but the track up the skirt, not necessary either. No.
Yeah. No, that was real gross.
Yeah.
Creepy. And there was like a lot of weird focus I noticed in this movie of them doing like this weird like center image, like Neo and Trinity are embracing this weird hug, and then it pans out. And I'm like, are you making me like the weird voyeur watching them? Like, I don't like this. This is creepy.
Yeah, that was in the bad sex scene.
Yeah. And the crying orgasms.
Yeah.
Everyone else looks like they were having a much better time.
Oh yeah,
the dance party. Yeah.
I did have a note that sex is used as a weapon in this movie. Maybe like, and it makes me uncomfortable because Persephone does it, the Maravision does it,
and even concept of love is weaponized, right?
Is weaponized like, throughout it.
Trinity is deemed as vulnerable because she's in love, but Neo's not. Whatever.
Yeah. I mean, no. By the end of Revolutions, he is, but in Reloaded, no. It's only on Trinity.
Yeah,
for that.
She was the only one shamed for it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe I am slowly picking out my problems with it. That's why I don't like it. We'll see.
I just don't like it when they're not in the Matrix. Like, it's just not great then. Like, it kind of loses a lot of momentum when it's just like, I mean, they did the Star Wars prequel thing. Like, there's a parliamentary scene in it where they're just like, well, we're going to talk to the council. And I'm like, oh God, this is death.
I know.
It's like, what about exactly the spice embargoes?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like nobody wants to hear about the political proceedings and interplay of the characters. I mean, it just kind of draws the movie unnecessarily long. But I don't know. I didn't play the video game. Maybe it plays into the video game.
I think the video game is all in the Matrix. I don't think at least in my memory. I mean, I played it in 2004 or whatever. But I can imagine
those high octane political sequences of the Matrix.
I remember being pretty slow. I do remember being like, okay, now I got to do this thing. Now, can I go back to like shooting stuff? Like, when do I get to do that again?
So it wasn't like a first-person shooter. It was more of like a detective story.
It did a lot of bullet time stuff. I remember that. I think there was also like hacking mini games that you had to do. which I think bogged things down in my
well,
memory.
yeah, because in real life, hacking is boring and slow. It's not cool. Like,
yeah, no, every 14-year-old loves talking about kernel root codes.
Yes, they do.
Everyone remembers how to navigate DOS, right?
CDOS.
Yeah.
CDOS run.
Yeah.
Run DOS run.
That's aging me because like that's my first. Yeah. Okay. Never
Oh
mind.
my gosh. This week on Twitter, I didn't look to see why it was trending, but touring was trending. And I was just getting, I didn't look, but I was just having multiple high school flashback memories, trauma memories. And I was like, oh, only Tracy would understand.
Yes. Well, it was my first programming language. God.
Yeah. Yes, I was there. I was there. Remember?
You were there with me. Yes.
I know enough to make a reference to it and then bail out.
Run away. I mean, I remember none of it. I do remember I made this really cool menu program that had like a menu and you could pick and it calculates how much it costs at the end and blah, 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 blah. And it like looked pretty on the screen. It didn't look just like text. It had like a border and shit. And my teacher was like, whoa. And I was like, But yeah, that's literally all I remember from it. Don't ask me to actually program anything in like touring or whatever. No.
Do you think it helped you understand these movies? Because it does make references to like weird code language stuff, but not in a way that really tells you anything about it.
No, it makes me like movies like this and movies like Hackers and The Net, I think came up last episode as well. It just makes me remember like people either don't know how boring coding and hacking is, or they just willfully are in denial about it because they just want to make it cool. So I don't know, but I was always very frustrated watching these movies where they have like just flashing pictures on the screen. I've broken in. You're just like, that's not what it looks like, guys. It's not. That's all I felt about it.
It's a bunch of gibberish letters just falling down, right? That's how it. Yeah.
And Propeller Head plays in the background. But when you're in the Matrix and you're engaging in a dance sequence, trumpet flares, just constant trumpet flares. Constant. So I can note with the rewatch, I've not intentionally fell asleep, but almost fell asleep every single one of them. But the trumpet flares woke me up every single time.
Really? I remember one of the scenes they have bowling ball sounds and stuff like that, and I was just like, "What? Oh, yeah. You're not even trying right now."
In the Smith fight has bowling
is it the Smith fight? Yes.
Yeah, it's so weird.
And it was like there was like falling dominoes or something as well. It was like three really dumb sounds where you're just like, are you kidding? Like, is this where we're going with this right now? Okay, fine.
I don't think they were kidding. Those second two, the 2 and 3 do not feel like anyone's kidding. Yeah. There's no joke. Like there is no kidding in those movies. They are so serious.
Oh, it takes itself so seriously.
Oh my God.
So seriously. Oh, you're just like, calm down, guys.
Dancers are very serious.
Yeah. I mean, Morpheus makes a biblical reference in it. So, you know it's going down from there.
The whole thing is weird biblical references.
Yeah. I mean, even the Nebuchadnezzar, isn't it? A weird
That's reference? The Syrian king.
Yeah. Yeah, well, everybody's name is something out of the Bible, right?
Zion.
Trinity.
Yeah. You know.
So would the Trinity be Morpheus, Neo, and Trinity? Or is that the Holy Trinity of this movie?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
And
yeah. I was trying to figure out which one's the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. Oh, there we go. I guess Morpheus, Neo, Trinity. Okay.
Yeah. You've said it. That's it. Yeah.
I cracked the code.
You're a hacker now.
You done it.
I'm in, you guys.
Flashing pictures, neon, it's happening.
Frantic keyboard noises.
Mini discs.
White rabbits.
Oh, there's a whole generation of people who don't know what discs are right now, guys. It's very sad. It's all
wow. You 3D printed the save button.
To me, that is a joke. That was a joke. That is not real. That never happened. Nobody ever said it, because if I let myself believe that, I will die inside. I can't do it. No. not happening.
Well, there's jumping ahead to the fourth movie, just to stay on this topic for one quick second. There are the big floppy disks on his desk in that movie.
Okay.
And I'm like, that doesn't make sense for 1999.
Thank you. Because I made a note of that as well. Because I was just like, even if you go back to the other one, like the original Matrix movie, you see his room. It's all mini discs stuffed in a book. It's not 5-inch floppies. What's wrong with you? By 1999, nobody's using 5-inch. Get your shit together.
They have the little ones still, like the little hard floppies.
Yeah, and the zip discs.
One of those 3.5s.
Yeah, and then the zip discs.
They had those. That's fine.
That's fine. That's fine. You know,
big ones were out by like 95.
Seriously, what is? I was offended. I
got triggered.
I did get triggered.
Patrick Harris would say.
Oh God! Oh no!
So why did they leave Zion and reload it? I can't remember like what the like inciting incident was that like made them like go.
What was it? They wanted to go see. No, that's the other one.
Well, the Oracle was like saying you got to do this, and then the people in Zion were like, "No, you got to stay here and fight."
Was that it?
So it was like this. It became a divide of politics versus religion.
But then by the end of the movie, it's concluded that even if he did go on the journey, it would still destroy Zion. Right?
Well, yeah, the architect kind of said something to that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, so the architect essentially says to him is like, look, you've already this is the 6th time this is happening. We have to destroy Zion for this to work. We're going to put you guys back into the system, and you're going to pick 7 people to start New Zion or whatever it's called. And yeah, like, because he's like the remainder to an unbalanced equation or whatever. That's why he's an anomaly.
Right.
So, which also brings questions to resurrections. It doesn't make any sense, but whatever.
Well, I think, but wouldn't his counterbalance by that movie would have to be Smith? Because him and Smith are equals on either side of the equation, right?
No, the problem is that he doesn't have an equal. That's why it's an unbalanced equation. But at the end of the Matrix, when he destroys Smith, which severs him essentially from the program and gives him like a consciousness, I guess you want to call it. He makes him part Neo, part the one, part whatever.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So he becomes his counterpart. That's what happened.
Okay, so there's Neo code in the Smith program.
Yes.
Hacking.
Yes. Okay. And that's why Smith becomes a bigger problem than he already was.
Okay.
Yes.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. And then it turns out Smith doesn't just want to. So when he does that, he doesn't want out of the Matrix anymore. He just wants to take over the Matrix. He wants to be.
Well, he wants death, right? Like he wants the Matrix to just be shut down and him non-existent with it, right?
I don't know if that's what it is in Reloaded. In the Matrix, yes. He wants there not to be anybody for him to fight, so he doesn't have to be there.
Right.
But then by the time Reloaded comes, he's technically dead. He doesn't have to be there, but he chooses to take over the whole thing instead of just fucking off, essentially.
Right. He becomes a virus.
Yeah.
Right.
I just want to make the argument that Hugo Weaving, who I originally know from Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, just wants to dance.
Dance in the rain at that.
But I do agree. I made a note about that too, about him becoming the virus that he speaks about in the first movie. He's become that.
Well, that's why I think at the end of Revolutions, when he has the fight with Neo and he's taking over the whole world, why it's raining all the time, because in the Matrix he complains about like the smell, and I think he's trying to wash away the smell because he's technically in people's bodies, right? And he's doing everything possible to rid himself of the smell of the place. So for him, it's just like if it's continuously raining, it's like I'm always taking a shower, so it doesn't have that grossness to it.
Well, he needs to stop hanging out on subway platforms then, because that is the worst of it. Trust me.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, just wait till he gets to Zion after the sex orgy.
Yeah, then he became a person who was like, I'm going to hang out on these tiny old ships.
Yeah. But then he also complains about how gross it is as well to be in a flesh sack. What no, what does he specifically say? He says, rotting, he's in this sack of rotting flesh is what I think is what he says. It
is pretty gross. It's gross in here. I'll give him that. He's right.
I mean,
being a person's disgusting.
Yeah, it's not there's a lot of
sounds like you're not dancing enough, Josh.
Or too much.
Too much dancing. Too much
dancing.
A little moderation would go a long way.
And deodorant. Yay. There's so many people who don't know about that yet, but it's okay.
They just learn how to wash their hands, Tracy.
Yeah, don't shake hands with your armpits then.
Yeah.
It's not hard.
I still remember once I went to a baseball game and I was in the washroom and this woman beside me was bitching because the water wasn't hot. But then I looked at her wash her hands, which was stick her hands underwater as quickly as possible. And she's like, it has to be hot for your hands to be clean. But I'm like, you didn't use soap. You didn't try to whatever. And also, if you want hot water to kill all the germs, your flesh is going to go with it if it's going to be that hot. So you're weird.
Yeah, the men's room at the baseball stadium has a different vibe.
Not chicks at the thing complaining about cold water. No, not at all.
No, nobody complains about the water not being hot enough. That is not something that we complain about. We are overpowered by everything else that's happening.
Oh, yeah. You're like, get out as quickly as possible.
They use a trough in a lot of sports stadiums.
One thing I'm happy about being a woman is I never have to use a trough for eating or X.
Yeah, no, I don't. I mean, I have the choice not to, and I've chosen not to for my whole life. I don't know if I've had the opportunity to because I've never go to check. But yeah, no, it's not something I want to do. No.
Oh, I did notice a very fancy urinal in Revolutions when they're in the restaurant, and they have like the fountain. And some guys peeing into the fountain. I was just like, is that what men's washrooms are like? They have a fountain in there?
I mean,
to pee in a fountain?
I mean, there's bidets. That's kind of that.
Well, women's washrooms have bidets too, but like we don't line up perpendicular or like beside each other and aim into a fountain.
That's essentially the trough.
You would if you could.
Who said I can't? I have skills.
Yeah, no, I mean, then I don't. You're missing an opportunity.
There's just no fountain in the women's washroom.
Oh, God.
This is a new political movement we've started on this podcast to get fountains in women's washrooms.
We just want fountain equity. Thank you.
I don't want any water going anywhere except where it's supposed to go in the men's room. I don't want like free water anywhere, water anywhere.
I understand that. Yes.
Water goes down and nowhere else in that room.
Well, you don't want to like stand in a puddle while you're in there or anything?
I do already. That's the problem.
I think they do at the Zion dance party too. Remember they're like dancing in mud? I was like, oh, that's very Woodstock 99 of them.
Yeah, they're all like sweaty and
Rage Against the Machine is playing.
Yeah, 100% Rages and propeller heads.
Yeah. I bet you didn't smell good in there. And no, it's all kinds of wrong. I mean, they have a problem with like getting food. Do you think they have deodorant for everybody? Like, come on.
They only have gnarly sweaters with holes in them.
They spent it all on lube.
Oh, God. So wait, you're telling me that nobody in the history of Zion used to have a loom in the Matrix and then come out and was like, oh, I can make you a good sweater. Like, come on, guys.
No, all the knitting needles were destroyed in the war of 2021.
Really?
Or whatever year it was supposed to be.
The discrimination against the needlepoint arts remains true to this day.
It's true.
No, everybody is a computer hacker. They don't know how to do that. They
don't know how to knit.
Yeah.
For the grandmas.
A computer hacker can have a hobby. Come on.
I would have you know there's a great of the women that I know that like sci-fi, almost all of them are knitters.
I mean, I kind of knit. I do chainmail, so
that's knitting. That counts.
Knitting with metal.
I'm gonna say it does not count because that is a different category, and it puts you in a different category than a knitter.
What's this discrimination against the arts happening in progress?
It was against chainmail making. It wasn't against. it wasn't. This is like no. That's an extra step. Like you've gone an extra level.
Chainmail arts.
Okay. No. I don't know if I should be offended or not, Josh. I really don't know.
Oh, probably.
You need to explain how different knitting and chainmail is and why they can't be in like the same artistic category.
One, you end with a scarf, and the other, you end going to the Renaissance Fair.
Yeah, but you can technically make a metal scarf. Mm.
Yeah, no, you could, but you go to different occasions with those things.
I also would make the argument that you made a Monty Python reference earlier this episode, and I'll have you know that every single chainmail garment in the Quest for the Holy Grail is knitted.
Oh, I'm sure. Oh, I am by no means above this. I am not making the argument that I'm somehow
You're just not going to appreciate it.
Somebody that. I'm saying on the hierarchy of dorks.
This is a dork hierarchy? We don't even have 100%. Dorks, Tracy.
Have you seen the internet? Of course dorks have hierarchies.
No, but neither one of us have dorks is what I'm saying.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Are dorkless.
Yes.
So we're automatically excluded from the dork hierarchy, which is offensive.
Dork's a whale penis, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, good. Because
I do not own a whale penis.
Nor do I. My dork card has been revoked, apparently.
Apparently, yes. Yeah. This is not where I thought this conversation was going to go at any point in time, but great. I love it.
The Matrix.
I think the conversations about the Matrix should mostly be about dorks. I think that is a fair road to go down when we're talking about these movies.
Weird sex orgy caves and squid monsters. Yes.
Yep. Oh, tentacle monsters. Not even just squid monsters. Those are tentacle things. Yes. Like that's full on. Like, we know what you're doing here.
Yeah,
we get it.
Those are dorks and we know it.
One thing I always found interesting about a lot of sci-fi is either they go like the future is Asian, like Chinese or Japanese, or it's robots that look like bugs or like weird things with lots of limbs on them. So the Matrix obviously went the way of weird robots with lots of things on it. And I always find it like, because if you watch like the Animatrix and stuff, there's the one where it's the history lesson essentially of like what happened. And of course the robots and AI were originally made in human form, but as soon as they left, they're just like, fuck people bodies. We're gonna do this bug thing. And I was like, okay, I get it. That makes sense. But I wonder if it's like computers analyze structures of things and think it's the most efficient, or do you think, especially in the Matrix world, they were trying to get away from their oppressors and refuse to continue to look like them?
I think that it probably stems from an evolutionary kind of thing. I mean, that's what sort of the movie's driving at, is that the AI move forward without humanity behind it anymore, and that's what this became. Like I think we only mostly just see Sentinels in these, right? So those are just like war machines.
Well, we see Sentinels, we see the harvesting fields, which is it kind of, I don't know, it's a weird thing with lots of things and it goes up and like grabs stuff.
They're buggy. Yeah, they're kind of buggy, you're right. But like they also like, maybe that serves the purpose of the particular thing that they're doing. So maybe just in different contexts, there's different ones.
Well, yeah, when you finally in Revolutions, when you finally get to the Machine City and he's like talking to like, I don't know, the son from Teletubbies for some reason, you do see like the little things that take care of the whatever come out. And those definitely look like little worker ants or something like that. They don't look anything like sentinels or whatever. And even when they're getting to the city and they have those like big thing, like their guns or whatever that shoot stuff that look like snails for some reason, it's very, smaller animal worlds made big kind of thing.
Yeah, no, it's definitely like the sentinels are squids. Like that's what they look like, and that's what they're doing.
They call them squiddies. Yeah.
So I mean, but I think that there probably are a bunch of different ones. If I'm going to expand the universe in my brain, do some headcanon, I would say probably it would be an evolutionary thing rather than a conscious, like we want to look different kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. They're just like, oh no, I guess I could use a third arm for something. Okay.
Yeah.
Done.
Make them all flexy and wobbly.
Yeah.
I do like that you mentioned headcanon because I associate that term very strongly with cyberpunk because I think of like in Neuromancer, there's like a character with a cannon installed in his head. And so that's what I think every time I hear that term. Headcanon is like literal.
I mean, that'll be in the next Matrix movie, I'm sure.
Oh, I would love
Definitely.
that. I'm waiting for that moment. Or the video game, whatever.
Okay, I think we're over into Revolutions now, which hold on. Okay. So Reloaded ends with them being in the quote unquote real world and Neo figuring out he can stop them and ends up in a coma.
Yes. So that's really the only part of Reloaded that moves into Resurrections, right? Like you could cut out all of the middle part of Reloaded and just go to him like zapping the robots with the Force and then moving on, right?
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was watching the Revolutions. Was like, wait, what happened to the last one? And I'm like, none of that mattered, it seems.
No, there's only two scenes that matters. The opening scene when you hear about like the final flight of the Osiris, that they've been destroyed, but they have like the thing. And then when Smith takes over one of the real people's bodies and he ends up in there.
Copies himself, yeah.
He copies himself into it. So that's like right at the beginning. And then at the end, they crash and he's all like, stop the Sentinels. And he goes into coma. Those are the only two scenes you need from that movie. That's it. That's all you need. Yeah.
No, the rest of it's like the Keymaster and the Gatekeeper or whatever from Ghostbusters. And they're running around doing stuff. And then all he does is like, go to this place. And I'm like, okay, what? We took 40 minutes to get you, and you're just like, here's a key, bye.
Yeah, and that was it. Yeah. And for some reason, he goes to close a door where people are shooting and stands in front of the door instead of just like closing it. So then he dies, and he's like, I could have given you this a while ago, but here's the key. You're like,
What about the architect stuff? Didn't you think that was important?
That is just excessive exposition. That's all it is. It's just excessive exposition.
But like, it really just says like, oh yeah, we wanted you to come here the whole time. I'm like, oh, then why didn't you unlock the door for him?
Yeah.
Like you wanted him to come.
Yeah. And you didn't.
Well, it's just like a mind control thing, right? Like the illusion of control. Like, isn't that like a pretty big theme in this movie? Is like the perception of do you control your fate or the fates control you?
Agents of control, right? Like they're not government agents, they're agents of control.
Yeah. And this was my thing. Like I spent the whole movie wondering like who makes up this prophecy? And then of course the architect is just like, oh yeah, we just said that because to make that guy do that thing. You're like, okay, thanks.
But what I really like that scene, it kind of reinforces like they were watching him the whole time, like this super creepy endeavor. Like it's reinforcing like, that parable, I guess, of like be cautious of what's watching you, be aware of it. And I'm like, that's still a relevant theme to this day. Like maybe we are too trusting of the TikToks.
His screens are in the first movie. Like there's an architect POV shot in that first movie, like right before the interrogation scene.
Oh,
it
when
goes
you
in
go
on all
into
the screens. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
That's his thing. There's another weird thing in the first movie that I wanted to ask you guys about, because like, remember when they're in the car? So it's after the interrogation scene and they're in the car, they suck the thing out of his belly button and I'm going to get out of the car or whatever. And she's like, you've been down that road already. You know where it ends, or whatever the line is. Mm-hmm. What does that mean? It looks a lot like the road at the end of like the Smith fight at the end of the third movie.
Oh.
And I wonder if that's it.
I think it's really just supposed to be a quote unquote generic road.
Okay.
And I think what she's actually referring to is more along the lines of him being like he's been searching for Morpheus for a long time. He doesn't know he's looking for the Matrix. He's looking for this guy named Morpheus because he's heard about him. He does cool things, blah blah blah.
He was in an Arabic newspaper.
Or yes, for some reason, who knows. And I think it's more along the fact that he's like, you've given up, you've been somewhere that is dead end and pointless.
Okay.
So instead of walking away, stay. But as the story evolves, and then you get to the part with like the architect who's like, there's been 5 dudes before you. It makes you think like, oh, maybe she's actually referring to the fact that there has been this anomaly before, and going that way may not be the right way to go, because technically this Neo, because he finds love, thinks differently and does things differently to get the computers on their side.
Is that the reason why it's different this time? Like I was kind of thinking that maybe there has been 6 of her already too, or that she's the 6th iteration of her, because they only act as a team, right?
Yeah. Well, but according to the speech that the architect says, the one thing that is different is Trinity in this iteration. I think she's been like probably like some sort of iteration of her been part of the world before, but I don't think they've never met before or never fell in love before. And like they have found love, and because of this, he is thinking differently.
Okay.
That's what I got from the architect, at least, like his speech.
He said a lot. He said very little, but with very big words.
Yes. Ergo, we don't understand what he's talking about.
No, that's not what I meant. I'm smart.
I thought the road analogy was a perfect cue for a Boys to Men song that never panned out.
Well, we've come to the end of the road. I can't let go. It's a natural.
Yes. You belong to me.
I belong to you. Oh my God. Yeah, so many shoulder to shoulder, arms length apart, side dancing has happened in my past. It's fine. But yes. But I do.
No.
Sorry, we've gone back to elementary school now. It's gone too far. Yes. So Revolutions, the first scene is Neo wakes up on the train station, right?
Yes.
And he meets the programs or whatever. Mm-hmm. I do kind of like that conversation with the I don't know what their names were. Anyways, but like the dude's like, I've never seen a program who's fallen in love before, who's loved before. And he's like, what is love? Love is a word. It's the connections and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what this program is saying is correct. Yes, this is an understanding. But I think the movie tries to show what that program is saying, but fails miserably at it, kind of thing.
I think it sort of gets at that they're not just the bad guys, right? Like he's also Machine Jesus, right? Like he's Machine Jesus and Human Jesus by the end of this movie. So like it's about how he's gonna save everybody, not just the humans, right?
I think it's also just supposed to show as well that like with all wars that happen, whether digitally or in quote unquote real life, that not everybody on the opposite side is your enemy or is bad, and I think it was supposed to get empathy from Neo to not to want to wipe them all out, but to hopefully get the balance that the architect was telling him about.
Yeah, that's a Buddhist thing, right? The balance stuff.
I think so.
I think that's a Buddhist philosophy tenet, I think. So I mean, there's a lot of religious stuff in Revolutions. I am not a theologist, I'm afraid, so I'm not gonna be able to go too deep into it. But yeah, no, a lot of Jesus,
and even
and
all
a lot
the
of
karma. There's like some Hinduism in there. There's a lot.
Yeah, it's kind of a mishmash of a lot of things, which I think sort of is symbolic of sort of how I feel about those two movies in general, is that they're sort of like, they let the Wachowskis do whatever they wanted, and it just became kind of like, oh, they threw a lot of things in there, but they don't really go too deep into any of them to like get to a point that's like meaty enough for me to be interested in, you know?
Yeah,
like it points at a lot of things.
Yeah, and I think that might be the problem, whereas I think the first Matrix movie, yes, it was a big budget movie and they were given a lot of money, but the Wachowskis would have had restrictions. They're like, look, this is the first time you're getting to make a big movie like this, you know, use your money wisely, use your scenes wisely, do this, do that, whatever. People would have had oversight, right? Whereas I think everything came after, they're like, look, you made a shit ton of money, obviously you know what you're doing, do whatever you want, here's all the bags of money, and they were just like, we are putting everything in here.
And we want to make Bound 2. No, you can't make Bound 2.
You can't make Bound 2. No. Oh God, no. I always forget they made that movie because it's such a departure from everything
that was like their big movie.
Yeah, that was the thing that made them big. I mean, it had Jennifer Tilly in it for some reason. Like, what?
I think they mostly made it to make The Matrix. Like, it was sort of like an audition.
Probably. I mean, it definitely got them noticed. So, you know, every director who wants to do something, you know, fancy or challenging has to have that thing that makes people's eyebrows go up and be like, oh,
Jennifer Tilly.
Yeah.
Gina Gershon, eh?
What? But yeah, I think if they still had that oversight and somebody was pulling in the reins a little bit, I think Revolutions and Reloaded would have been paced better, because the pacing of the two movies are very different, and B, I think they would have been forced to cut a lot of the unnecessary stuff that's in the two movies that like it's just not needed. Like, it's not needed at all.
Well, I think Reloaded's a full 2.5, right?
I think so, yeah.
It does not need to be that long. I watched them both in one night, and it really dragged.
Yes, it drags hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing that kept me awake were the trumpet flares.
Reloaded is 2 hours and 18, and Revolution is 2 hours and 9.
Oh, okay. It was shorter than I thought.
Yeah. Resurrection is a full 2.5 hours.
Really? That one actually went by pretty quick for me.
Oh my God, no. You are lying to yourself.
It really didn't feel that long. It really didn't to me.
I thought Reloaded seemed a lot longer than Revolution, and Resurrection just would not stop.
Yeah.
So,
the thing with Resurrection is that it at least feels a little more focused. Like, there's really two plots that happen.
Okay.
And like there's the plot with the fight of Zion, which is so long and so boring, and I don't care about that annoying guy at all. Like,
which one?
Well, just fill in X, whatever.
Okay.
No, the guy that's like obsessed with Neo. I think he's one of the kids in the Animatrix movie.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yeah, that guy sucks. He's the new mouse who sucks the most. Yeah. I did have one note about Mouse in the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
Remember how he offers Neo to like have some private time with the woman in the red dress? Like, he's a digital pimp.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that assumes that he's done that, right? Like, he's been with the woman in the red dress. Whenever they're like doing stuff in the Matrix and they get shot or whatever, their body goes all crazy. So like, they're having a physical reaction. Is he just like doing it in the chair then? If he's doing it in the Matrix.
I did not think of that, and ew. No.
Yeah.
Also, someone's got to take him in and out of there. Like, this isn't a holodeck situation where you're walking in and just undisturbed.
I hope they have laundry on the Nebuchadnezzar.
They only have gross sweaters with stains on it. Of course not.
Yeah.
And then they go to the sex orgy afterwards at Zion. That's all sorts of nasty.
I think they were pretty happy when Mouse left. They were just like, finally, we can just toss this guy out because
and his crunchy pants. Like,
I was bouncing around that.
I just went right there. Just let it happen.
Yeah. The Battle of Zion. It's so long and so brown.
Oh yes. Oh my god.
And I did not care. But then there's the other stuff with Neo and Trinity going on their quest, which is sort of more interesting. Also a little bit tedious.
It like, again, it's a pacing problem. Like, it lags, right? Because like there's all of these, like, they're going on their journey, whatever. It's like, oh, I love you. I'm like, I don't care, just fucking go. Like, that's all I kept thinking. You know?
Oh, right, and he's blinded too.
Yeah,
that slows things down.
Well, I think the fight with like Flesh Smith, I don't know whose body he took over, but that guy really embodied Smith pretty well. I will give him that. That whole fight was not too long. I actually don't think it was too long, and it really, really worked. But then everything after that, going back to the ship, and they're like, we've got to find each other. Oh my God, your eyes. Oh my God, I'll make it with you. Let me hold your hand. I'm like, I don't fucking, just go.
I don't go. But, like, what plot did that service? Like, why does he need to be blind? Like, what does that mean?
I don't know.
Okay.
It just, maybe it's a thing about justice or whatever, because he's got to be blind.
It's all about like seeing, right? Because he doesn't see, he doesn't believe. It's like the knowledge. Like, does he have
right? Because he can see robot stuff in the real world as if it's in front of him. He has digital flame vision.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's what he needed, to see the light of the robots instead of the robots themselves.
Right. Okay.
Well, he has extra like vision above that, right? Like, he's kind of a superpower, or a superhuman at this point.
Yeah. Well, it's sort of that like I said, he becomes robot Jesus,
robot Lord and Savior.
Well, I mean, by the end of the movie, he fully is like crucified, glowing cross and all. So
never to see him again.
And like, I don't know, like, I do find it weird that like the leader of the robots is like, as I said, it looks like the baby and the son of the Teletubbies. Like, that's what it looks like. Just not as yellow. He's got to grow
up and go somewhere.
I guess. I mean, isn't that kid like 30 years old now or something? Like,
probably, yeah. No, probably older than that, actually. I think the Teletubbies are from like the late 90s. Okay. So he'd be like in his mid 30s by now.
Ugh, that's gross. Yes. Yeah. It's all horrible. Well, I don't even remember what I was saying. Never mind.
I'm just gonna.
What you say? What?
Apparently, Sarah's gonna be our soundtrack for today. Like, that's all it is. Sarah's our soundtrack.
Cool. Can you do some Disturbed? You gotta do more. Yeah, there you go. Better than I could do. Yeah, no, we need more new metal for the soundtrack to the Matrix episodes.
No, we don't need more new. I was actually like, after, that's the only thing that improved after the original Matrix is the soundtrack. I would make that argument, because the first one, it's terrible. It's like Rob Zombie, fucking Marilyn Manson. It's gross. And
okay. The music works. It's the people who made the music suck ass and can go to hell. Like, there's
but the songs aren't even very good. Like, it's like, I feel like the first movie is like, we went to the gross goth club. The second one, we go to the fancy restaurant. Like, we're elevating
after the gross goth club.
After the gross dog food, we go to the fancy restaurant with the bathroom with the fountain in it, and the music gets better. Like it's like propeller heads. It's like a little bit more sophisticated, like techno music. It's like it gets better. That's the only thing about it that gets better. The fashion's good.
The fashion's good.
Yeah, everyone looks like they're in the vampire mafia.
Yeah, this is very so like true. Blade Runner-esque, right? Like, or no, sorry, Blade, just Blade.
Yeah,
just regular
Blade running.
They're the vampires. That's who they are, though. They're not even Blade. They're the vampires.
Like we've stepped up from Johnny Mnemonic, but I did notice that like Morpheus's like purple suit did like scream like very like Zoot suit vibes to me. Like, or not only that, but like the mask. Like,
I liked Laurence Fishburne's outfits in this one. I liked his. Yeah, I liked his. Was it a kind of like a crocodile skin coat too? Like, wasn't it like some crazy?
And he had purple shoes that were like so shiny.
And he had a samurai sword that he fought a car with.
Yes,
he was pretty good.
He was cool.
Yes, I forgot. I don't know how I could forget about that, but I forgot about that. Yes, you did.
I wrote it down that it was cool.
Yeah,
it was cool. It was cool.
Oh my god, we didn't talk about the twins yet.
The twins. They weren't the best part though. They were like, what was their superpower? They could turn into ghosts.
Yeah. So, well, the whole thing is that they were. What was the word they called them?
They're like outcast programs, right? I forget.
That are supposed to be like deleted, but like if you pay attention to it, they're like these outcast programs are like they're vampires and they're werewolves and they're ghosts and they're like
they survived Tron.
Yeah, they survived Tron. So
they have weird de-aged faces in the next movie.
No reason. Like. And I thought that was like a pretty kind of cool element, kind of talk, because like in the first Matrix movie you found about deja vu, and like if you see deja vu is there because they've fixed something in the Matrix. That's what it is. So this was like another element of like how can you tell the Matrix is wrong? It's because you saw a ghost. There's a problem. That's a program doing something it's not supposed to be doing, like that kind of thing. So I thought that was really cool. And like the twins, the idea of the twins was really cool. But at the same time,
they're super weird though.
They're super weird. Like even like completely visually, they're completely different from every other thing you meet, whether in the Matrix or out of the Matrix. Because they're like albino, dreadlock, head to toe, white, weird.
Maybe they're related to Switch.
Thing. Really? No.
There is like in that scene where I think it's Reloaded, there is like one like samurai fighter in like white. So like I feel like they throw like somebody in white like just to shake it up, because otherwise all the characters would just be in black the whole time.
Yeah.
Like there is like one or two, and they are always visually very striking. Like I think even what's her name, the Frenchman's wife, like that's why even she's in white in that scene.
Persephone,
because like it makes her stand out.
Mm-hmm.
Persephone is a muse in mythology, is that right?
No, isn't she the wife of Hades?
Oh, okay.
And and she only gets let out once a year and to start spring.
Okay.
I'm getting my knowledge from Percy Jackson. It's fun.
Cool. No, better than me. I was wrong. You're
I only
right.
know it from the Tea Party because they have that song about she looks back and she fades away. CanCon.
That one went over my head.
That one went over my head too.
Yep.
It's a song by the Tea Party. It's about her.
Okay. But yeah, I'm pretty sure Persephone's married to Hades and is trapped down there, and she hates him and does things to torture him, but still cares for him in some way. And
wait, I played it. Never mind. Yeah, no, there's a video game called Hades.
Yeah,
where you're like doing stuff, and Persephone is in that. I don't remember what she did though. So,
well, I mean, Persephone in this movie does what Persephone, I think, is supposed to do, because I think the Merovingian is supposed to be like the devil. Like he grants, like you sell your soul for a favor or whatever to him, and he can do whatever you want.
I mean, he's a video game bad guy. he has the princess, and you have to go save the princess, right? Like the princess being the key maker guy. Like he's just a guy that has the person that they want. That's the only function that guy serves.
I don't know.
Then saying a bunch of nonsense French words.
I would actually say in Revolutions, the princess would be Neo, and Trinity has to go save her princess.
There's a lot of that kind of swapping happening. I think at many points in this series, which I think is pretty cool, actually. And there's a lot more of that in the fourth movie.
Yeah, like they finally try to give Trinity her, like, to show how powerful she actually is. She's not powerful just because Neo's there. She is powerful in her own right, which I think is good. I just think they do it badly.
Okay. We'll talk about it more. I have some strong feelings about that trajectory.
Okay. What else do we have to say about Revolutions?
Smith fight. How do we feel about the Smith fight?
I mean,
I don't feel like it had enough fighting in it.
I think
it didn't have the cool dance fights.
Well, it had them, smashing each other all the time and playing with like the water, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, some of the water stuff's fun. Yeah.
But yeah, they did a lot of like flailing limbs in the air thing, which I thought was weird. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, like it kind of felt like when you took two action figures and just smashed them against each other, and then like threw them down in a pool, and then picked them up and threw them at each other again.
Yeah. But especially the scene where they're in like the crater, and Smith like swan dives at him somehow, and you're just like, what is that? What is that supposed to be? After all of this CG fighting and all of this stuff, and like the slow motion punch and the rippling face, you clearly have two wires and point him this way downwards. You're just like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
They didn't care anymore. They had already made all their money. They were just letting it slide.
We're like, forget it. It's good enough. Just, it's fine. People will watch it. It's good.
It's passable. We're not being innovative anymore.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that's what you just said, Sarah, I think is a big point of the fourth movie. It's like, yeah, we can't do that. What are you talking about? Of course we can't.
Well, yeah, like they raised, I mean, the expectations are too high, right? Like where else can you go?
Well, I think they also called it Revolutions, and I'm like, yeah, that probably wasn't the best name for the movie.
No,
it's not revolutionary.
I don't know why. Last week I kept calling it Revisited for some reason, but
it did feel like more of a revisit than a revolution. Like there was nothing that, like the very fact that we don't even shift off the protagonist of Neo is kind of like, what's so revolutionary about it? It's the same ass thing that we've watched 2 times already.
and like with a lot of movies where the woman is actually the main character. One of my favorite ones to complain about is also, I think I said The Kingsman the other day, but there's also Blade Runner 2049, where the whole story is about the girl in the cage, essentially, and she plays no part in the movie, and you're like, what are you doing? It's about her. Why isn't she in this more? And it's the same.
She's sort of the Maltese Falcon of that one, though, right? She's sort of the MacGuffin.
Yeah, kind of.
She's the solution to the plot.
Yeah, well, because they give you the red herring that Ryan Gosling is really the thing, and by the end you're just like, no, it's the chick that we met like 20 minutes into the movie. It's her. You're like, oh, okay, thanks.
Ryan Gosling is the dog in that movie. that is him and the dog share a meaningful look in that movie, and it made me go, oh, they're the same. He is the loyal dog that is going out. And he feels love and feels like he needs more in the universe, but he is just the dog.
Yeah, and he needs treats and be told that he's a good boy, and then he can die in the snow. It's fine.
Did he die? I don't think he died.
I think he dies when he sits out on this. He's got a major injury. He sits out on the steps. It's snowing. He's bleeding out, and he's about to pass out. And then the credits go. I'm like, I'm pretty sure he's dead.
He's alive in my heart.
Should I have said spoiler? No, it's been long enough. It's fine.
You already did that in the bees.
I did, yeah. Oh yeah, I did, didn't I? Okay,
you do both later?
Huh?
You did both of them?
Well, I mean, that one had already come out when I did Blade Runner. So then, yeah, so we ended up talking about both of them. Just like we're going to talk about Resurrections right now.
20 years later.
Oh, God. This movie annoys me. And, like, it doesn't, I don't think it's one of those things where it's like, it's so hype that it's disappointing. No, I think it's a bad movie.
Okay.
Yes.
So, I don't quite disagree.
Okay.
But I also think that it's doing it on purpose. Okay, here's what. So the first note that I have is a line that's very early in the movie. So in this movie, we're back in the Matrix, surprise. And Neo is a video game programmer, and he's made the Matrix as a video game. Like that is the trilogy it's referred to as the for the video game thing. But somebody talks about him using old code to make the new game. And he's like, why would you use old code to make something new? Which is just a reference to them trying to remake the Matrix movie again. It's like using something old to create a new thing.
But like 10 minutes after that, Christina Ricci comes in and says, we're making the Matrix 4. Here's the stuff. And then there's 10 minutes of his quote unquote development team talking about what do people want to see in a new Matrix. And you're just like, haha, you're funny. Like,
well, no, it's because those are all idiots.
I mean,
like all of the things they're saying are really stupid.
But I feel like that's how this movie was developed. That's why it's so bad.
So I watched this movie with a friend of mine who loves this movie, and he was kind of telling me a little bit of the backstory because I didn't know all of it. So this is only made by Lana. Lily did not have any involvement with this movie.
Yeah, because she was like, the story's done.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think they both think that. I think they both think the story was done. There is a scene in this movie where his business partner comes to him and says, our parent company, Warner Brothers, is going to make this no matter what. So if, like, obviously they're going to fuck that up. So if you don't do anything, they're just going to make it and it'd be terrible, which is true. They were going to make a Morpheus prequel movie starring Michael B. Jordan was the plan. And they weren't going to have any Wachowskis involved in it at all because they have the rights, right? So they were just going to do it anyway. Okay, so this movie...
Sorry. Yeah. I think Michael B. Jordan is a great actor.
Sure.
And most of the things I've seen him in, I'd be like, you know what? You did a good job, except for Fantastic Four. But him as a young Morpheus, holy no, that is bad casting.
Well, this is what Lily said, or Lana said, right?
Lana said, yeah.
Was just like, oh yeah, I guess I'll do that. So the first, like, I want to say 20 to 40 minutes of this movie should not exist. I don't want to be here, which is, I think, incredible. I think that's the most punk rock, like, Rage Against the Machine thing to do, is just like make a movie about someone not wanting to make the movie that they're in right now.
Wasn't the movie Cop Out like that? Like, it's literally called Cop Out because it was a cop out. It was a cash grab.
I did not see the Kevin Smith Cop Out movie.
Don't see it. Just no.
Well, it's like 22 Jump Street. I said this is the 22 Jump Street of Matrix movies, where it's just like they call out that it's a transparent capitalist cash grab at the very beginning, and we're just going to go through the motions.
Yeah, but at least there were a couple of laughs in 22 Jump Street. I just watched this whole movie just heavy sighing every 5 minutes, like, oh.
When he said our parent company, Warner Brothers, I had to stop because I was laughing so hard. Wait a minute. Hold on.
I kept yelling at the screen. I'm like, I get it. Okay, I get it. Like, that's all I kept saying. I was like,
it felt like a swan dive. Like, that's what this movie is to me. It is we're going to run this into the ground now. I'm going to destroy my baby so you can't have it.
So you're saying this movie is purposefully bad in a way to make reference to the fact it should be bad because they were forced to do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, but I think that makes it good. Like, I think that this movie's a pipe bomb. Like, I think that it's like, we're going to shove this in there, and it also bombed. It didn't make it money. It only made $150 million.
Yeah, because 2 people
Reloaded
saw it.
Made $750.
Jeez. Yeah. All right. I'm not surprised, to be honest. I'm not surprised.
And also, like, it's the thing that I was kind of alluding to before about like the hero journey part of it. I think that at the beginning of the movie, Lana is Neo as it goes through, right? She is the one that's having to go through all this development garbage and everyone telling her what her thing is about and everyone misusing it, weaponizing the thing that she made for their own means.
Mm-hmm.
And then as the movie goes on and it's about, and then the powers kind of transition into being Trinity. And Trinity sort of becomes the hero at the end of the movie, which is also an interesting thing as a transition story, right? Like, it's very much like starting as a man and then building out, and then they sort of come together as 2 people within the same spirit, and they sort of go off as her being the lead, right? So, and that kind of stuff, I thought that was really neat. Definitely, once we get back to the Matrix, it kind of turns into like the same kind of warehouse fights and kind of gray paint fighting stuff.
Yeah.
So it definitely drags a bit in the middle, but I think that all of the stuff kind of around that and like the framing device of it was clever and funny.
Yeah, but now that you've said you think they've made this bad on purpose, I feel stupid arguing this because half of it doesn't make any sense. Based on the world that they've built, based on the story they're telling within this movie, what they're saying doesn't make sense. Like the whole thing about Morpheus being in the modal, and now they made half Morpheus, half agent, but somehow it comes alive in consciousness in this modal. So then when the random people break into the modal to break him out, he's like, who I'm Morpheus, which doesn't make any sense.
Well, it was like an enlightenment thing, right? Like it was being touched by Christ or whatever. Like it was that's how people awakened, right? Is witnessing him.
Yeah, but the problem is that this is inceptioning this nonsense. So you have a person who's outside of the Matrix, right? So their human body in the real world, their brain is put into the Matrix, and that person who's in the Matrix wrote a program within the Matrix, their own version of a mini Matrix that's running in the background somehow.
It's on Unreal 5 engine, yeah.
Yeah. And suddenly that thing wakes up to the fact that it's also in a program. So they save that program and bring it into the Matrix, and they save it within the Matrix to bring it into the real world. Is that what you're saying?
The Morpheus that we are seeing is a creation of the One, and he was given consciousness by Jesus. Yes.
Because the real Morpheus is dead.
Yeah, the real Morpheus dies off screen between movies.
In the video game. He dies in the video game.
Yeah.
But like, isn't this just a play on the theme? Like it's an extension of like what's already existing, like in the franchise, like about consciousness, what is consciousness, and enlightenment, what's enlightenment. So we're coming through different stages of human enlightenment and robot enlightenment and where they come together. I think it's also kind of like playing on those ideas of like extending human life and, you know, becoming immortal, like all the good human ambitions.
Yeah.
I think it does the good stuff from the 2 and 3 about as well as the good stuff from 2 and 3. But I think it has a fun framing device that makes it better than 2 and 3 to me. Not as good as the first one by any means.
I honestly don't think so, because like what is the good stuff in 2 and 3 that you think shows up in this that is the good stuff in this?
Yeah, that's hard.
Yes, it is hard.
The dancing.
Dancing.
The fight sequences in this movie are horrendous. They're so
because
bad.
Everyone's so old.
No, but they have the young people
old,
fighting
Tracy.
as well, and it's really, really bad.
No. The people wanted the old people back. You can't say you want the old people back and then want them to be all young and spry. No. You're gonna get 50-year-old Keanu. If you want, yeah.
He filmed John Wick 4 a week ago. He will be fine. I honestly I have a feeling that
He did Bill and Ted the same time as this one, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I honestly think that Lily may have been the one to frame the fight sequences and stuff like that. Because the look of this movie, I know the look of this is purposefully different because it is a new Matrix. And if you notice, the color, there's actual color in the Matrix. That green is out.
Take that green out. Yep.
So you can't really officially tell the difference by the colors anymore. But how a fight sequence, it's not even the moves in the fight sequence, it's how it's actually shown on screen is so different and so clumsy. It just looks really bad.
Yeah, I see that. I won't disagree with that. They're not as good.
They really aren't. Yeah.
But it also has the same confusing thing as 2 does, where I'm just wait, why are we fighting here now?
Exactly.
However, another big laugh when the Frenchman showed up again.
Oh, when Merv shows up?
Oh my god, and everyone's just annoyed by him. He does another speech thing, right? He does a whole thing after the fight, and they just go, all right, I guess we'll just move on then.
Yeah. They just walk away.
I desperately, in that moment though, when the Frenchman is making his bid or whatever, I want it to be asking Neo for a kiss.
Come and kiss me.
Wouldn't that be great? I would love that.
I only want to.
I'm writing a fan fiction story about that later, posting it up online.
Yeah, Neo tenderly takes him home, gives him a shower and combs his hair. Makes him part of this new Matrix, and
he writes his resume up for him, takes him to Kinko's.
It's very tender.
Yeah, it's very tender. He's
we go dancing in the rain later.
We're gonna get you back on your feet.
Yeah, that's all he needs. He just needs a little help. Okay, just a little help. Right? Set him up with an apartment, an address and a phone number. People can reach him. Get out there. Build your empire once more. I believe in you.
But I think there's also a few references in this movie that point to Reloaded and Revolutions being bad movies, which is also funny to me because there's a part in it. I think it's his first conversation with Trinity at Simulate, yes. Where she's like, oh yeah, even I've heard of those. And he just goes, yeah, we entertain some kids.
Yes.
Which is just sort of yeah, these movies were dumb. We made dumb movies, kind of.
Yeah. Yeah.
But also very personal to them, obviously, because they took a lot of exception when they were going to make it themselves.
Well, exactly.
It. Yeah.
I think they're decent filmmakers, but with the Matrix, they had said the first film took them 15 years or something, from inception to writing a script to honing it and coming up with designs and all that kind of stuff. It took them a long time to get that together. And I think the subsequent, I think they had ideas for the sequels and stuff, but it just wasn't as put together as the first film. And they're just here's shit tons of money, make whatever you want. And they're just how long do we have? You got 4 years. Okay.
Yeah, it definitely had a Fleetwood Mac, we'll rent out Dodger Stadium, and just get a truckload full of Coke and just make an album.
Yeah.
That'll be the thing where it's no, you guys went too big. You guys got a marching band for this? What? You're lucky it's great.
Yeah. I think my thing is about
Revolutions and Reloaded is that they do actually build on the Matrix story, even though not in the greatest way, but they do actually build on it. But whereas I think Resurrections doesn't do anything. They're just like,
No. Yeah.
Like there's one part where, so the whole point at the end of Revolutions, the deal that was made with the architect or with the big baby or whatever, is that, look, for the robots and the people to stay in harmony, we're gonna, if you get rid of Smith to save us, we will let whoever wants out. We're gonna do that. That's what we're gonna do. And in Resurrections, we find out that's what happened. Like, the people who wanted out, got out. And then the people who didn't, they're just like, nah, we're good. They stayed. So they're fine. Whether they know or not, they made a choice. They stayed in the Matrix. And then you have this blue-haired girl bitching about how nobody's trying to save minds anymore. But it's not about saving minds. It's about, taking people from somewhere they want to be and putting them somewhere they don't want to be, which is sort of like, kidnapping or a different type of imprisonment. Like,
oh yeah, I would
leave them alone. And she's
I would
like,
100% choose the Matrix. Yeah, I mean that's crazy. Why would I want to? I can have shirts that don't have holes in them here. Yeah, that's great.
I
can I don't have to relearn to knit.
Pretend to eat real food. I am fine with all of this. I mean,
there's a steak dinner in Resurrections. He's eating a steak dinner
where he's like falling apart. He's like, I'm eating steak. You're like, all right, you do you.
Yeah, no, huge laughs throughout that whole sequence of him just being sad and just taking blue pills over and over again. That's hilarious.
Again, that whole sequence is like, I get it, but it was so long. It did not need to be 10 minutes long. It could have been 2 minutes long and we would have gotten the same point. Like
the Christina Ricci stuff, because she's only in that one scene.
Yeah, which I was just like, Christina Ricci's in this? What? Okay. I was just, all right. This is fine.
Yeah, I mean but it's doing the, like, this is a reboot. Like, we're doing a reboot. We're not doing anything new. We're just doing the same thing over again. I don't want to be here. Blue pill me. Like,
other franchises have done it better, is all I'm saying.
Sure.
They could have done it better. That's what I'm getting at. I mean, it goes from, existential dread at the beginning to, really boring argument with grandma in the middle, and then zombie apocalypse fight at the end. And you're just like, what is happening in this movie? Like, what is happening? Like, it just goes all over the place.
Yeah, it does.
And then Neil Patrick Harris with his like eyebrows and his like, I'm using bullet time against you. You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. The villain's his psychoanalyst. I think we could probably do an hour just unpacking what that means.
Right. I mean, he literally spent the whole movie,
the Scientologist movie,
gaslighting Neo over there, and I was like, all right, this is what we're doing now. I don't know.
I mean, it's definitely an out there movie. I think that's what I appreciate about it, is that movie's nuts. Like that it's a crazy movie.
I mean, Neil Patrick Harris is more believable in this movie than he is in Smurfs.
Are you sure about that? He's pretty good at Smurfs.
Both of them, both Smurf movies, recollection.
Was he in the one with the girl Smurf when she went on her adventure? Because there's one human person in that one. Who was it?
There's like 2 live action and 1 animated. So he's in the live action ones.
Okay, maybe I didn't watch the live action ones then. Sorry. Never mind.
I'm just waiting for the Gargamel spinoff.
Any day now.
He actually catches a Smurf, eats it. It's disgusting. And now he has to find like what to do with the rest of his life.
I want the Azrael prequel.
I'd watch that movie.
He works at Baskin Robbins.
Smurf berries.
I mean, I'd watch that movie, to be honest. I'd be
watch
fine
that
with
movie.
It. Yes. Yeah, I don't know. Resurrection's just the ideas are there. It's just so all over the place. But again,
it's definitely a polarizing movie, and I see why. Like, it is a movie that's daring you to like it.
Is it though?
Yeah, I think it's purposely subverting expectations of what you want when you go see a Matrix movie.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was gonna say no, but I mean, like, I honestly, yes, I had high expectations. I just didn't know what I wanted.
Right.
But the thing is, when I watched this, it kind of, the whole meta thing about it's, they've created our world and the Matrix is a media property within that world to like, stop it. I was just like, that was uninspired, I think is what I felt about it.
Are they in Space Jam 2? Are the Matrix people in Space Jam 2? I didn't see Space Jam.
I did not see
I did not see Space Jam.
Because the first Space Jam, the crazy part is that Michael Jordan's in it. And then in the second one, the crazy part is everybody is in it, including like the Droogs from Clockwork Orange for some reason.
What?
Like, yeah, the Droogs from Clockwork Orange are in Space Jam 2.
Okay.
Sounds like nightmare fuel.
I have never seen either Space Jam movie.
What? Really? Okay. I guess I'm a little younger.
I own the soundtrack to Space Jam. I've never watched it.
That's not problematic.
Not at all. That soundtrack is banging. I'm just gonna say it.
Is it Seal on there?
There's a whole lot of people.
Oh wait, I don't want to mention the title track. Moving on.
I was jumping. Jumping around that.
I Believe I Can Fly is on there. That's right.
Moving on.
Yeah.
I believe I can ignore that.
Yes.
But yeah, no, I think Warner Brothers was champing at the bit to like start using Matrix stuff because they are flailing.
Oh my god!
So the fact that this movie is just like, yeah, I'll give you your fucking Matrix movie. You suck on this.
Yeah, waste all of your money. Nobody's.
We're gonna change the main character halfway through the movie. How about that? Now it's a woman.
It's not even halfway through the whole time. I mean, it's true, but it's not even halfway through the movie. It's focus, pretty close to the end. Yeah, it's very close because the focus changes to her because they're like, no, we have to save Trinity, but she doesn't find her quote unquote power until like the last sequence. When
I think that they're both the same person. I think both Neo and Trinity are one.
Like, okay.
They are. It is. They only act in tandem. Like that's the way they unlock each other, right? Like they can only work as a unit. And I think that in the meta of the movie, that is one person.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can understand that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And to become one.
And we're on Spice Girls. I love it.
Well, and it also ends with. You know what we're gonna do? If I want to make the sky a rainbow, I will do that. I'm gonna do whatever I want. This is mine now.
Yeah, and they fly away together into
Rage Against the Machine song.
It is a female cover
of
a Rage Against
right?
the Machine song.
Yes, that's what I thought.
And I went
because I was listening to the song. I was listening to the song. I'm like, isn't this the Rage Against the Machine song? But it's ladies singing. But
Brass Against, I think, is the name of the band. I looked it up. It's like they do like big brass covers of like they did a full Rage Against the Machine album.
Well, they did a good job. What can I say? Yes. Yeah, I still hate the movie though.
Fair enough.
I mean, I love Yahya. Yahya's great.
They took my life and made it into a video game as a line in that movie.
Yeah.
I think the weaponization stuff is about red pilling.
Mm-hmm.
If you remember, men's rights activists have taken the red pill thing from the Matrix and used that as their little thing. So
I missed that entirely.
I did too. Yeah.
Talking about weaponizing the ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There was a political thing in Reloaded too when the architect is going on about like the horrible things in our history and things. And as he said that, George W. Bush and George H.W. Bush were on the screen behind him.
On the screens, nice.
And I went, "Oh, that's dated." That would not be them today.
It's still appropriate.
I mean, it's appropriate. You can just put a different person in. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, this movie has like all the movies have sort of a political bent to them, and I think that Resurrections especially is like really like you guys are all a bunch of dummies.
That's essentially what it is. It's like all the people that are all you people here are the people left in the Matrix, and it's because you chose to be here and take it easy, quote unquote. And that's why that blue-haired girl's all mad about stuff.
There's also a line about how resurrecting them was really expensive.
Well, he keeps talking about the robots as a corporation, right? Because it's like it's the board and the suits, and he had to get money to do this and the blah blah blah. I mean, like Trinity had a bunch of holes in her. I guess Neo would have been fried inside. Like I don't understand why.
Well, I guess it's the WB, right? That's the corporate. That's the machines in this movie. That's what we're raging against for sure.
And that's why those are the only two people that survived, and Jada for some reason.
Keep her name out of your fucking mouth.
If I get slapped at any point in time soon, oh my god. Yeah. And also she did a really bad job. She was horrible. She was doing I'm old. She was.
Look how old I am. I can't even stand up straight. I'm old.
It's like Yoda acting.
You're like, come on, man.
There's a lot of prosthetics.
For like, what, 2 minutes of screen time?
Yeah.
There's definitely a Friends reunion vibe to it, where like he just like, because there's a bunch of scenes where he's just like, hey, remember back when? And there's like drinking coffee. I'm like, that's funny. That made me laugh too. Just the fact that it's like, we're not going to do anything. We're just going to meet up together and talk.
Nostalgia.
Is that what you guys want?
Again, one of the reasons why I hate
people talking to each other over coffee.
I mean, it does feel like if we want to like put it in, I don't know, more contemporary setting, it does feel like a reaction video made by themselves about themselves. You know what I mean? Like it's like they made their own reaction video, except it was 2 hours long and they had budget.
And Jada was the person who's like, oh my god, this came out 20 years ago. I feel so old. That was her. And Keanu was just like, yeah, it was 20 years ago. Who cares? And so he still looked the same. That's what it was.
Yeah, no, he took his Vampire Mafia membership very seriously and just
very seriously. Yes. He refuses to age, I tell you. Isn't it his birthday today? I think
it was yesterday.
Today.
Or
yesterday.
No, it's today. It was today. Sorry.
It is today, right?
Yeah.
Oh, happy birthday!
Apparently he's rad. I've only heard that he's really great to work with.
Yeah, I've never heard any bad thing about him in any form. Whether some random person bumping into him in like real life, whether it's like on set doing whatever, whether he's saving lives in car accidents, he's apparently great. Yeah.
Just imagine that. You're in a car wreck and Neo from the Matrix pulls you out.
Yeah. And you're just like,
wait,
is this real? What is happening?
Yeah. Wait, didn't you die? Am I dead too?
No, welcome to the real world. It's fine. It's fine.
What do they say in Bill and Ted? They go, excellent. Is that what you said? Right.
I dug that movie too, man.
That's what they say. They say
maybe I'm just a sucker for the reboots, but I dug the Bill and Ted reboot too.
Oh, so good. I really enjoyed it.
Maybe my taste in movies have just evolved a little bit. Maybe
I mean, you're not wrong. I'm not going to disagree.
Maybe I should have rewatched Bill and Ted and Bogus Journey. Maybe I should have watched those before getting into that new one. But I was just like,
the guy in Barry, the one with the alopecia, and I think he's the robot in this. He is so funny. He is so funny. Just him alone in this movie is worth watching.
I don't think I ever laughed at any point in this movie. I just groaned a lot. I was like, oh my god. That was it.
I think the fact that they're 55 or 60 years old and doing the same bit is funny in itself. that they're just being like 80s teens for some reason.
Well, because they never grew out of it, right?
Yeah, that's funny. It's like when Beavis and Butthead shows up again. Like, it's just always like, yeah, you're just the same. It's funny.
Oh, this is Cobra Kai. Yeah, all over it. Yeah, I loved it.
Oh no, Cobra Kai was good though.
Cobra Kai is really good.
They evolved. It's just they brought in the same kinds of kids to fight each other the same way as the movie. Different.
Yeah, their child fighting ring is basically the same. That's the.
It is. Oh my god, I'm surprised Hilary Swank hasn't shown up yet. It'll be good.
Yeah, she needs to show up.
Or
get in here, Hillary. Put your Oscars away.
No. Wasn't Elizabeth Shue in it too? Like the first one? Was it her?
Oh, I don't remember. What's Hilary Swank been up to lately?
I don't know. Maybe
she's
in like
Logan Lucky. I remember that.
Was she? I watched that movie. She was in that?
Yeah, she's the FBI agent in it.
Oh my god, yes.
Yeah, that's a great movie.
It is a good movie. That was the first time I saw Daniel Craig as something other than like suave. Like he's always suave in his things.
Oh my god, him doing accents is so fun. I just want him to do weirdo accents forever.
Well, they're doing like the Knives Out sequel.
Knives Out 2.
Yeah.
Knives Out 2 is going to be at TIFF.
It's called something really weird, like Squids in a Jar or something. I was like, what? Why is this called such a weird thing?
I hope he has a different accent and it's not explained. Like he just has a different dialect.
He's like, now from like Timbuktu or something, and you're just like, what's happening?
Yeah, he's doing an Australian accent the whole time for some reason. It's like, wait, weren't you Southern before?
Oh, sorry, it's called Glass Onion. I don't understand why I got what Squids in a Jar. I guess Glass in Jar kind of. I don't know. It's fine.
He's a Boston detective now.
Oh yeah, they got a lot of faces in this one as well, don't they? It's got Ethan Hawke, Ed Norton, Kate Hudson.
I like all those
Catherine
people.
Hahn. Yeah.
Oh, she's great too.
She's super great. Yeah, kind of looking forward to it.
Yeah, this should be fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's a completely different. It doesn't have to build on anything, right? Because it's just a new case. So. Yeah.
I think he's the only person in it that's the same.
I hope they do him forever. Just make him a new Poirot or whatever.
Yeah.
Or Miss Marple.
This is his new film franchise. Instead of James Bond, he does like 25 of these. And
that would be awesome. I would be so on board. Even if half of them are terrible, I don't care. I'm on board.
Like, I'm watching all of it.
I'm watching them all.
It's the same with James Bond. Half of them are terrible. It's fine.
Yeah.
They're all misogynistic, but they're only half of them are terrible.
That's baked into it. Yeah.
It's baked into the character.
It is. That's just part of what that franchise is, I'm afraid.
Sadly.
It's sad. It's sick and it's sad.
Sing the theme song, and that's about it.
Mm-hmm. Sherly Bassey kills it. I think she sang 4 theme songs? The Madonna one sucks though, which is really sad. The Garbage one is really good though. Which
Tomorrow Never Dies.
Yes, Tomorrow Never Dies. So good. And Lulu. No, I don't like Man with the Golden Gun. That was really bad. The Aha one.
That one's pretty
really
good. That's from Living Daylights?
No,
it's License to Kill.
No, it's Oh no, it is Living Daylights. It is Living Daylights. Yes, Living Daylights.
It's something Into the Fire, right? That's the Aha one.
No, it's Living Daylights. The song is called Living Daylights.
Oh, Living Daylights. Yeah, okay.
Living Daylights.
Yeah. Okay.
That's all I got. That's all I can remember right now. It's fine. It's okay. I won't do that again.
You're allowed.
I'm good.
I give you permission.
Please don't. Please don't.
I encourage your choices.
Sadly, we can't sing any theme songs from The Matrix. It's okay.
We can sing our own theme song that we write ourselves. Welcome to The Matrix.
We're having a good time. Look, there's a black guy. He's coming out of a mirror. Woohoo! That's all I got. Okay. One thing I do like about Resurrections is they injected a lot more color into everything in general. So I enjoyed that. I was like, oh, it's not so dark. Your gaffer didn't have to work as hard.
Oh, I thought you meant people of color. And I was like, yeah, I guess. I mean, like, although I did sort of notice I noticed like in the first one was like, oh, there's a lot of people of color, but they're not the main character. Like it's just like everybody, like the main people are white people, and then everybody else are people of color. And I'm like, yeah, that's probably not the best.
Is it? No, there's only like 3 people of color in the first Matrix movie.
Oh, in the first one, yeah. But like Zion,
they all die.
Stuff.
Oh yes. Yeah, and Zion, yes.
But I'm thinking of like Zion, which is all just a mixed race and different people and stuff, which makes sense.
Is good. Yes.
But it's also like, yeah, it sort of makes it more obvious that your saviors are white.
Yeah. And you're like, and also they're literally treated as gods, and people are like bringing gifts and
yeah, and they're also the whitest people. Oh my god. they've never seen the sun.
No, they have. They've been under.
The sky is scorched. There's no
that's
sun.
True. Lots of other people seem to have tans though.
Yeah, I mean,
they all should be jaundiced for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Oh yeah.
Said they're just oiled up.
And is it oil or is it just a bunch of sweat? Like, we're back on the have they taken showers in a while conversation.
It's lube.
It's all they can't get it off. That's true. It's there forever.
They have to conserve their water.
Yeah. They should have foam parties. Come on, guys. Just do it.
Do you guys think that there's going to be a 5th one? And if there is, do you think it'll be with the same people, or do you think that it's going to be a Warner Brothers doing whatever they want kind of thing? Or do you think this scared them off?
It's going to be Trinity and Neo's baby. It's going to be a toddler kids movie. It's like not the Lego movie version. Yeah, Muppet Babies
where you get to see their combat boots.
Yeah, they're walking around.
Yeah.
And the thing is, when they're in the Matrix, they're like adults, but when they're out of the Matrix, they're like 3 years old.
I think they could have done more fun stuff with the digital version of yourself, like the mental image of yourself stuff, which could easily be like another trans theme.
Yes,
but it doesn't really quite go over that because everyone's basically the same inside and out.
Yes, I did. Okay, this reminded me. I did have a question. So they make a comment in Resurrections indicating they don't need landlines to get in and out of the Matrix anymore, which is fine. But my question is, they never actually show how they get in and out of the Matrix at any point.
I have a really stupid explanation for this.
Okay.
Because I thought about this too. And it's that in the last 20 years, we figured out that we can just turn off computers without having to go to shutdown button and it not harm anything.
Well, okay, so then my question is, especially in the stupid zombie apocalypse scene where they're fighting for their lives and all that kind of stuff, why didn't they just,
jack out? Was he jacked in? Because, I don't know what his deal is anymore, because he sort of goes beyond jacking in and out during the third movie, right?
Yeah, but everybody else is as well, and they have to go in and save them from a car and stuff.
Trinity is not. She's not willfully leaving quite yet, right? She doesn't quite know, so they have to prepare her. So maybe that's why. I don't know. That stuff was confusing.
Yeah. Okay. Because I was very confused with that whole thing. Because I'm I don't understand why this is happening. I understood why they were trying to kill Neo and Trinity and all that kind of stuff. But as soon as that went to hell and they ran out, I was just can't you just leave? Wasn't that the whole thing?
Right. I don't remember what was happening in the real world when that was happening.
Well,
they did intercut between the two.
Well, because that was when they were trying to get, what is it? They were trying to hack Trinity's line in, and they had to put it in the captain lady because her sense was the same as hers or whatever. And then
I thought that part was cool. Something. When it was what of them in her body at once.
Fight, yes, that was pretty cool. Neat. But also it didn't make any sense to me. That's why.
Oh yeah. I mean, a lot of these are hot nonsense for sure. Yeah. I mean, hey guys, you guys want a backstory and fun, filling in the world? Well, here's some anime stuff. And anime is all hot nonsense as well.
Yeah.
It's just what? Mm-hmm. So like that. I think there's a lot of video game logic stuff that's happening and a lot of like anime inspired stuff where it's just like, yeah, those are big ideas in a small frame.
Yeah, but that was the idea of the original series in the first place. Just done better. But then I guess this goes back to, you're like, no, we did this badly on purpose, so suck it, you know.
I'd say at least 40 to 50% of it is like tanking it on purpose. I think the like stuff about like them coming together and being one together, I think is not purposefully bad.
Okay.
And I think it's pretty solid. It is kind of sweet. It has like the love plot that I don't think is bad intentioned or anything. Maybe a little muddy, but not like doing anything too bad.
I mean, yeah, like I said, like I think the idea is relatively good to make Trinity realize her power and realize she is more important than just being there for Neo is great. It's just how they got there is just hot nonsense.
Well, yeah, well, I think she becomes more important than him at the end. Actually, I think that she is the one at the end. I think, to me,
that she took over. She took over. Yeah, I think the computers resurrecting her and building her back up literally caused that.
Right.
So it's the computer's fault, but yes, that's what I got out of it.
Yeah.
What do you think, Sarah?
I thought like the rebuilding of Trinity, it reminded me a lot in Aliens when they remake Sigourney Weaver. Like I don't know why, but I was like, that's what it was triggering in my memory, and I was just like, oh, those poor clones that didn't make it. Like, yikes.
Yeah.
But then like I like that it was like furthering the whole like the karma stuff a little bit, and like the soul connected to the body stuff, and like those are fun themes. Those are fun sci-fi themes. Like I like that they brought all of that back up. And yeah, I did like that Trinity does become the star eventually. Maybe there should be another one and it's just Trinity's movie. I would watch that in a second. Just her and a bunch of badass fight scenes.
Yeah. Well, that's the worst part about
the blue-haired girl too. She's from Iron Fist. She's the one in Iron Fist. I forget her real name.
I did not watch Iron Fist.
She's good in it.
She's amazing. Yes,
yeah, she's
and
great.
at the end of Iron Fist, she's the Iron Fist.
She was. I didn't see. Was there a second season? I did not watch that
because I was season, and
because I was so saying like they should just make it her because she's way better. He's just a drip.
Exactly, but I think like that's the same thing about the Matrix, like or Iron Fist. Like it was intentionally done like in an obnoxious way that you hate the protagonist. You kind of just want him to die the whole time, and then the best thing happens and the show canceled.
Maybe they'll bring her back though.
I hope so. Isn't there like something about like those that section of Marvel has like an opportunity to come back because
they're making more Daredevil.
Oh, because Jessica Jones is so good. Or what about Luke Cage? I really like Luke Cage. I thought it was great.
I did not like Iron Fist, Luke Cage, or Jessica Jones, but I'm really not allowed to comment because I think I got like 2 episodes into each and I just could not stand them. And I was like, I'm done.
I liked the first season of most of them. Iron Fist was pretty bad from the beginning.
Yeah.
But Jessica Jones and Luke Cage were like they had pretty solid first seasons. I mean, I think everyone really likes the Jessica Jones first season.
I had what you were saying about Iron Fist. You're just like you hate the protagonist. Why don't you just die? That's how I felt about Jessica Jones.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. Luke Cage. I was just kind of bored. I was just like, this is boring.
That's fair.
But Jessica, I hated her character. I hated everything about her character. I don't understand why she's there. Just go away. That's how I felt about her. Oh, people are
she's a real big knitter, just so you know.
Maybe that's why I hate her so much.
You hate knitters.
Yeah, the chainmail people hate knitters. I forgot to mention that part of the hierarchy. There's a big feud.
Beef.
Yarn versus metal.
I wonder which one will win.
Spoken like a true chainmail.
Pointy sticks? Come on. There's like a secret vampire killer weapon right here.
That's true. That's true.
Don't underestimate them.
For chainmail sales.
Oh god, I've revealed another nerd level here. This is horrible. It's fine. So anyways, I don't really have anything else to say about these movies. I just think Resurrection sucks way more than Reloaded and Revolutions, but they're also not that great either. So there, I'm done.
Yeah, fair enough. I weirdly didn't write that many notes for these because they kind of washed over me in a weird way.
Yeah. And like usually what happens with me is that like if I really like a movie, I don't write notes because I'm too busy watching the movie and enjoying myself. But these ones, there were so many things wrong that my brain didn't function enough for me to write down all of the things. And I was just like, I can't do this. This is yes.
I get that.
Yeah. And a lot of Resurrections, I did end up on my phone just playing games and scrolling through stuff because it was literally just to like stay awake so I can be like, it was on the whole time and I was awake too, and that counts. Done. Yes.
I think that was the intentional response on some level.
Or wait for a Matrix. Although I did hear that Carrie-Anne she was in a TV show called The Matrix before this movie. Yeah, is that wild?
What?
I know, just I don't even know what the show was about. I don't think it was a cyberpunk action thriller, but
let's see. The Matrix.
I appreciate in Resurrections that they let her have a little bit of range. Because she's so wooded in the first three movies. I think it's the sunglasses.
Very limited. Yeah.
Part of it's the sunglasses. But no, she's so especially the women, especially in the first three movies, are very hard and cold.
Yeah, they're not given a lot of like personality.
Yeah.
Is it this? So I'm checking to see what that TV show was.
Oh, I found the wiki link. I'm gonna send it to you.
Okay.
But a little like overview of it. Oh, where was it? It's like a Canadian television show from 1993 that was on CTV.
Yeah, it's Reboot. You're talking about Reboot.
Is that Carrie-Anne Moss? Is that Matrix too? Wow, she gets around to the various matrices.
She does. Oh, hexadecimal. So the series starred Nick Mancuso as Steve Matrix, a hitman who is killed during a job and sent to a version of purgatory called the City in Between. There, he's given a choice to be sent to hell for all the murders he's committed, or return to Earth and help people. Once alive again, the Matrix receives periodic assignments from the City in Between. That's the Matrix.
That's Spawn. That's the plot to Spawn. No, 100%, right? Like that is just exactly what Spawn is.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's right. He gets sent to hell and then
sent to hell and then goes back as an agent of hell to kill people.
Interesting.
Is that also Trading Places?
It's a lot of things, to be honest.
The Tooth Fairy?
Wait, which Trading Places are we talking about?
Oh, sorry. I'm thinking maybe
the Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd movie.
I'm thinking of a different one. I'm thinking of like somebody dies and comes back into the body.
Oh, is that
there's a body change one?
I know what movie you're talking about. Oh my god, I'm not gonna remember. Yeah, because he dies. He goes to like purgatory heaven. He's supposed to get reassigned to a body, but rushes past and just jumps into some kid's body and then meets up with his old wife.
That's with Robert Downey Jr.
It is Robert Downey Jr. Okay,
I forget the name of it though. I have seen that. No, I know the movie you're talking about. It's got 3 ghosts in it that talk to him.
No, that's Heart and Soul. That's what you're thinking.
That's Heart and Soul?
That's Heart and Soul.
Oh.
Heart and Soul is he's a kid born on the same night. These people are on a bus and crash, and their souls are connected to him as he grows older, and he doesn't know why, but at a certain age, he figures out they have to complete some tasks while they're 11, then they get released into whatever. That's different. That's Heart and Soul.
That's different. Okay.
Yes.
I think they came out around the same time, and I've mashed them together because I saw them when I was 4.
Because I think the movie we're thinking of, Robert Downey Jr., he is like the teenage body this spirit goes into, and he embodies this person.
And he tries to get back together with his wife, right?
Yes, which is, and it's creepy and weird because he's like 14 and she's like 45, and you're just like, ew.
Oh, is he that young in that? I thought he was like a young adult, like a 20-year-old or something.
Okay, maybe he's like 20.
Maybe. I don't know. It puts a very different spin on that movie in my head if he's 14.
Well, because the whole time the woman is like, no, you're a child. But then he's like, no, I'm your dead husband or whatever. And blah, blah, blah. And they have like conversations and stuff. I don't remember how it ends.
Somebody used that line on me yesterday. It's not going to work, Charlie.
It's not happening. Yeah. I'll have to find out what movie that is because I've seen that movie too. I used to watch a lot of really weird random things. It's fine. It's okay.
There's a really weird like middle point of the 90s where it's just like there's like a black hole of just like, oh yeah, those were movies that came out and nobody ever thinks about them anymore.
I think it's like before 1994 because 1994 was like a whole bunch of really good, like Shawshank and Jurassic Park, and like all of the amazing movies came out. It was like 94.
It was like Pulp Fiction in there.
Yeah, it was like 94, 99. All the most amazing movies of the 90s came out, and then everything else in between was just like, what the fuck was everybody on? Like, oh my god!
I've talked to so many people that have not seen The Fugitive.
Why?
Why do I talk to them? I don't know.
Both questions. Why haven't you seen it? And why are you talking to people?
It's just a blind spot, it seems, for quite a few people. And it really surprised me. It's one of those movies I've seen 100 times because it was always on TV.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a good
Same
movie.
with like My Cousin Vinny. I've seen that 100 times too. But a lot of people are just like, what is that?
What? Oh my god. The two of you.
Marissa Tomei won her Oscar.
Yeah. Okay, I was like, what did you think she won her Oscar for? Spider-Man, you're an idiot. And I spit in their face.
What's the one she's in with Christian Slater and he has a baboon heart or whatever? What's that one called?
Yeah.
Maybe she went
Baboon
for that
Heart. No, it's called Baboon Heart.
I don't know what that is. I just really like that description.
That's 100% what the movie is, though. That's an accurate description.
Because he's born with like a birth defect or something.
No, he just believes that, though. Like he's kind of like he's also a little bit
special,
not the most intellectually advanced.
Christian Slater? No.
But it's okay. So I know in the movie he tells a story about getting a baboon heart. But isn't the whole thing that he was born with a birth defect and had an actual heart transplant, and then he, spoiler alert, even though this movie's like 35 years old, it like he dies at the end because his heart finally fails because he can't get another transplant. Isn't that what it is?
He ate too many bananas.
And then like she falls in love right at the time he's about to die or whatever. Is that it?
I honestly like I remember watching this movie very young. And so my interpretation always of this course of events is like this individual is not very wise and probably makes poor choices. They will probably die. So like I just thought he was like, and he does, right? Yeah. So like I don't think we don't really know the condition of his heart. I just think he's a wacko crazy and probably just did like a bunch of drugs and then died. Like
on a pirate radio station.
Yeah.
Oh my god. It's not pump up the volume.
He could have had a baboon heart in that one too. We just don't. It's just never mentioned.
He could have
been there the whole time.
Yes. It's very true. Hold on. Let me see if hold on. Let me see. Okay.
But there's a whole movie based on a person having a like, and it wasn't. Did he like did it like have an effect on him, like his personality? Like, was it like the like the convict killer like body part transplant that makes the guy go crazy and kill everybody?
No, it was more along the lines of what's that Sparks movie that has like the girl with cancer, the guy with cancer.
Oh, The Fault in Our Stars.
No, that's the John Green movie. Oh my god, what's the stupid that Nicholas Sparks movie that's so stupid? Well, I didn't actually watch it, just looked really dumb. But anyways,
is that the like, Odd Life of Timothy Green? Is that a Nicholas Sparks thing?
No.
It seems like it would be. That's another one where the kid is dead for the beginning or whatever.
Sorry, it's called Untamed Heart. That's what it's called. A waitress hardly notices a shy busboy who secretly loves her until one night she's attacked and he comes to her rescue. From there, a relationship sparks, but one secret could mean disaster for these fated lovers. Why did they put? Well, I guess the secret is the heart thing, so they can't put it in there.
That's the reveal. The reveal of the movie is that he has a baboon heart.
Or he has really bad informed decisions.
He chose the monkey's heart. He chose that one.
I went further down. Okay. It says, unfortunately, retaliation by the attacker sends Adam to the hospital where he finds out he has a diseased heart. Adam is an orphan who's played by Kristen Stewart and was told he has a baboon's heart. He refuses a transplant as he believes his love for Caroline is contained in his damaged heart.
Oh, so he's dumb.
I guess.
Okay. That's bonkers. That is, I have never heard of that movie. It has a terrible title.
I'm telling you, you're missing out.
It doesn't give you anything.
No.
And it just makes me think of Wild at Heart, which is a different movie.
It's a very different movie.
It's a very different movie. That's a very different movie from every movie.
Sparks cancer movie. That sounds real bad. It's A Walk to Remember. That's right.
Man, I thought that in my head, but I was like, I don't think that's the one she's talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Julianne, what's her name? That's not Julianne Moore. Why did I say Julianne Moore?
It's Mandy Moore.
Mandy Moore. Yeah, she has cancer in it, right? Yes.
Yes. It's with Keanu, right? Is Keanu in that one too?
No, it's
what's the Keanu one where he dies?
Isn't that like Sweet November?
The Sweet Hereafter? No, the Sweet Hereafter is different. Sweet November might be it, yeah.
Oh no, Charlize Theron dies in that one. Sorry, no. Or disappears or whatever.
But is he the love interest that in
that one?
Any of these movies, I should not be talking.
I also did not actually watch all of Sweet November. Yeah. So I'm not allowed to actually say things about it. Maybe
they all sound like the same movie to me,
right? It's Shane West is a love interest in A Walk to Remember.
Right, that household name.
Yes, we totally know who he is and what he does, and
everyone remembers him. That's the point.
Yes.
He shall never die.
Anyways, yes, okay. We have tangented all over the place. It's fun. Just like the cave.
You can really chop off maybe the last 20 minutes and it just be.
I know.
Usually when we do this, we intersperse all these, so it's impossible to cut.
Exactly. And I was just like, well, I gotta leave that one now, and we'll gotta leave this one. Oh my god, it ties all back together. Jeez. Yeah. I was gonna look up the Keanu Reeves. I can't remember which one it is. Never mind.
I think you were right. I think you were. I think it was something November.
Something whatever. November.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, so we've actually already. Wait, Sarah, did you give your final thoughts on these sequels?
Yeah. I made a comment in there.
Okay. Okay. Well, oh my god, this was a great conversation. Thank you so much, both of you, for being here this week.
You're welcome.
Thanks for having us.
Hopefully I didn't blather on too much.
No, this is probably the shortest episode you've ever been on.
We'll see. When it gets to the editing, we'll see how sure it goes. I'll like compare and let you know. Yeah. Well, that's it for this episode of Off My Shelf. Until next time, you can follow along on Instagram and Twitter at ohmyshelf, or you can send an email to ohmyshelf@gmail.com. On the next episode, we will be talking about Matchstick Men and Memento. Hope you'll be here to listen.